End the bloodshed. He wants to end the killing, and he knows how important it is. And this is a big deal for him, for all of us. So his leadership here is crucial.
Aaron Navarro on the administration's new economic pressure.
The Treasury Department announced direct sanctions on Russia's largest oil companies. They said that this was due to, quote, a lack of serious commitment to a peace process to end the war in Ukraine. This comes the same week that we saw that potential Budapest summit between President Trump and Russian President Putin seem to fall apart.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the military's taken out another alleged drug boat, this time in the Central Pacific off Colombia. President Trump just moments ago.
I wouldn't want to be in one of those boats heading away. You know, they're driving happily to destroy the lives of people, and they end up, that's the end of them.
Congressman Adam Smith is among the lawmakers demanding more answers about these attacks. There have been at least 8 now.
We can't have the United States military using lethal force, killing dozens of people, and not even be clear why or what it is that it's supposed to accomplish. That is bad policy, and also it is arguably illegal and against the U.S. Constitution.
CBS News has learned the Dominican Republic has granted permission to the U.S. military to use airports there for operations relating to the counter-narcotics flights. A federal judge has indefinitely extended a block on a National Guard deployment in Chicago. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson.
It looks like we're going to have a pause in Chicago on using the National Guard. That doesn't mean that there will be a pause on ICE actions in Chicago.
The Trump administration plans to deploy a team of Border Patrol agents to San Francisco as part of the escalating crackdown on illegal immigration. Matt Bigler reports some jurisdictions in California are moving to establish no ICE zones.
Leaders in San Jose and Santa Clara County have voted to create local ordinances that would make city and county property off limits to federal immigration officers. Councilmember Peter Ortiz.
We cannot wait until federal agents show up in our neighborhoods to finally decide that we should have protected our community spaces.
It's unclear how these no ICE zones would be enforced. In a statement, a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said DHS enforces federal immigration law without fear, favor, or prejudice.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished lower. The Dow Jones Industrial's off 334 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, Seattle police are set to get a big raise. That's one story coming up after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
All right, Aaron, Tacoma Holiday Festival has our update. Up in Everett, eastbound 526, it's jam-packed from the Boeing factory over to I-5. North 5 slows from the Boeing freeway to Highway 2. From there, you're going to clear out all the way in through Arlington. Everett to Marysville, just 10 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. Scattered backups between Kirkland and Canyon Park. That earlier backup in Canyon Park that was really thick has thinned out. Seattle to Everett, just a 40-minute trip. Coming the other way, Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour. You're bumper to bumper from Lake City Way down to I-90. South 405 packed from about mid-Bellevue down to 112th and Newcastle. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute trip, and Tacoma to Olympia doing great, taking just a half hour. The Tacoma Holiday Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, is October 23rd through the 26th at the Tacoma Dome. Buy tickets at holidaygift.shows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. A new contract promises Seattle police officers a big raise. Seattle Times reports the agreement would boost starting officer pay to nearly $120,000 a year. That's a 13% raise. SPD Chief Sean Barnes.
The agreement modernizes our wages and keeps benefits high so that we can maintain a well-staffed police department, which translates into public safety.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch. Sean, what else is in that contract?
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Contract still needs to be ratified by the city council. Engineers are assessing the damage to an overpass on I-90 westbound in Cleellum. WashDOT's Megan Lott says an overhigh truck slammed into the Bullfrog overpass today.
We do see about 17,000 drivers going westbound. And we do see about 1,500 vehicles traveling over the overpass every day. So it is going to have an impact on drivers.
And for now, traffic is being diverted around the accident scene, and updates on when the bridge could reopen is hopefully coming later today. A former Seattle student is suing the school district over a violent classroom assault. Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was 13 when a teacher allegedly punched him at Meany Middle School. The family is asking for up to $124 million in damages. Seattle Times reports the trial is expected to run through this month. Forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Seeing a mix of everything today. Some sun breaks, clouds, light rain, a little breezy as well. Highs in the low 60s. Right now, 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
I have wanted to make shakshuka. I want to say it's certainly Middle Eastern. It might be like a Lebanese type dish. Onions, garlic, you saute those down, some peppers, and then you add some like crushed tomatoes and other tomatoes in there. You cook those down like a thick sauce. Make little wells in that saucepan for your eggs. Drop those eggs in there and cover them and just kind of cook them till they're runny. Then you can use some sort of bread, just kind of dip it in there. It's almost like an egg sort of pan stew. Shakshuka. It is called shakshuka.
Shakshuka. It's funny when you hear the show back taped like that, you're like, huh, what the hell is this?
We playing that?
No.
I'm glad we're not taking calls from people anymore. Can we stop that? Because it's just too many weirdos that listen to the show.
I'm not going to rule it out completely.
Okay, fine. Who put Andrew in charge of stuff?
Oh, he's the best. Come on.
All right. Big day for Joe. Chance to have dinner with the big boss. Big bosses.
Big day.
Behave yourself. Don't get all drunk.
I think you might regret forcing me into this dinner.
Why? What are you going to do?
I don't know. Get drunk.
Drop
maybe.
a little acid, go on there, be all high.
Maybe. Stranger things have happened.
This is going to be a mess. YouTubers, I see you. Are they allowed to talk to each other yet?
Nope.
We'll have to talk about that at the big dinner tonight. News, here it is. This guy, I was thinking I'm going to tell the story about I was living in New York City in 1982, and nobody wanted to sit with this guy, Sal, at the Grand Hyatt because he was a loser, and everybody else wanted to sit with the cool guys. And then this guy who sat by himself and read continuously at 4 o'clock in the morning was the most interesting person I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Huh. That's saying something.
Next to Aaron. Plus, also a little day in history. We'll go back to the Lady Bird Johnson wanted to have the highway beautification bill. No way. Billboards off the highway. Failed miserably, especially if you ever drive in Las Vegas. Why is every other billboard in Las Vegas? Have you been in an accident?
Or a gentleman's club.
Yes. At a gentleman's club? Slip and fall on something? Plus also, this is along the same sort of lines. So this is good news for anybody. If you're ever unable to breathe out of your mouth and you're like in water or something, you will be able to breathe now. Like if you're in the pool, swimming around, you don't need to take a breath. No more bilateral breathing.
Oh my.
You got a little explaining to do about where the air is coming from, though. And speaking of that, Jim Walsh comes by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 topics. Can Jim Walsh, state representative and the chair of the Washington GOP, can he get through all topics? And he says he's working with the governor when it comes to the $2 billion made-up shortfall White House demolition going on. They said don't take any pictures of it because they don't want anybody, which is a dumb thing because then people go, oh, it's called the Streisand effect, right? Barbara Streisand made a big deal about people were taking pictures of her house. Don't take pictures of my house. Then what happened? Everybody took pictures of her house. It's known as the Streisand effect. The White House has said, please don't allow any photos to get out. Well, then, of course, everyone wants to take photos of the demolition. It's not that unusual that private sectors have come in to provide financing for various national buildings. It's not that big of a deal. Why didn't anybody make a big deal when they put a new bowling alley in there, huh?
Yeah, bowling alley?
An extra lane. Nixon loved to bowl.
Wow.
Plus a whole bunch of other Trump stuff, too, that people are going to be upset about, but that's what anyway. I've run out. Oh, there's mere music. Plus, the police getting $120,000. This is annual? Or is $120,000 over 5 years?
Annual.
Oh, they're going to get almost $120,000, right? So it's a 42% pay increase in just 5 years. Good. Apparently, you need to pay people a lot of money to do that job. I put in my request to do a ride along.
Yes. Has it been accepted?
I'm waiting to hear from the officer. Come on, Aubrey, write me back.
You just reach out directly to the cop.
Yeah, I got that kind of power.
Oh, my.
Oh, isn't it weird? It's like we don't want anybody. We don't want you to catch the bad guys. We don't catch people that have broken the law and come into this country. Now Auburn is like, oh my gosh, the ICE folks gotta look at some of our license plates. It's much ado about nothing. Plus, also, Joe's so excited about this story. I haven't read any of it, so I'm going to make Joe talk about it continuously.
Uh-oh.
We're out of music about the heist that happened there in France. Okay, I was thinking. It's 1982. I decided I would do the classic move to be the actor working in New York as a waiter, waiting for the big break, which absolutely never, ever comes. I applied to a place called the Grand Hyatt at 42nd and Lexington. I knew it was a fancy spot because I wanted the job as a waiter, and they made me take a lie detector test, which was bizarre. I was just going to be a waiter. Was I going to steal cream? But I did do the lie detector test. They only caught me on one lie when they asked me, have I ever stolen more than $10 of merchandise from our previous employer? I said no. The guy turns the machine off and says, do you want to talk about that? When they say, do you want to talk about that? Basically, they caught you lying. So my mind was thinking, what is it? Because there's this weird thing. Your brain can actually stop your rest of your brain from explaining something, but the thought's still back there. So I quickly thought, oh, I know what it is. My dad used to like French vanilla ice cream at Baskin-Robbins, which was a nickel extra, but I never ever charged him the extra nickel because I just didn't want to deal with the change and everything else. Plus, I also thought, it's my dad. What's an extra nickel to Baskin-Robbins? No big deal. Because really, is it really real vanilla in the French vanilla? So I didn't charge him. The guy that was running the lie detector test said to me, well, just make sure if your father comes into the Grand Hyatt that you charge him for everything. I said, okay, I will. I got the job, and I would work morning shifts, which meant that you would get there around 4 o'clock in the morning, get into the basement of the Grand Hyatt, and you would sit down there with the rest of the team. They called you a team to make it seem like you weren't just a bunch of losers working at the Grand Hyatt. And we were a whole bunch of losers. This was the early 80s, prior to AIDS, and the bathhouse life in New York City was going full blast. And so every morning at 4 o'clock, I would sit there eating my eggs and hash browns, listening to the stories that had occurred just a few hours earlier. Almost everybody that worked there in the morning shift was gay, and they had many, many, many stories. And I was just sort of sitting there as a Catholic school kid that had never heard of any of this sort of stuff before, just listening and not really engaging at all. But this was every single morning for about 6 days a week. There was a guy named Sal who sat not too far away from us to a table by himself, entirely by himself. No one ever sat with him. When I would ask, why doesn't anybody ever sit with Sal, or why doesn't Sal sit here? Oh, he's too busy reading. He's too busy thinking he's too smart for the rest of us. So nobody ever talked to him. One day, when I had my tray, rather than sitting and listening to these guys talk about what happened the night before, or at least 2 hours before, I went over and sat next to Sal. He looked up at me. He was Hispanic, and he had big brown eyes and not much to say about anything. And for about 3 or 4 weeks, I sat right beside him and didn't really talk to him, just ate my meal. And then I noticed he was reading a book. I asked him what he was reading, and he explained to me that he's trying to learn about this particular part of the world. And then I would ask more, and we would have our conversations in the morning. Here's what Sal's life was. Sal would work a double. That's a morning and an afternoon shift. That's a long, long day. That's 4 o'clock in the morning till almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the Grand Hyatt. He would do this for 6 entire months and save much money as he possibly could. And in the meantime, he would walk about 9 minutes away to the New York City Library. And there he would spin a giant globe. This was once every 6 months. He would put his finger down the globe, and wherever it landed, as long as it wasn't in some remote island somewhere that he couldn't possibly get to, or it wasn't a body of water that he didn't want to live in, he would then, with his finger up off of the map, he would see where it landed, and then he would read everything he possibly could about that place. Just pure luck, random, wherever it was. He would learn about the culture, the language, the people, the history, the place that makes that place unique, that his finger happened to land on while the spinning globe was before him. He would then read everything he could about that place, and then he would go there. For 6 months out of the year, he would live there. That was his life. And then he would come back. The Grand Hyatt would welcome him back. Always, because he was such a hard worker doing a morning and an afternoon shift 6 months out of the year, saving every single dollar he could to then go to wherever he felt like going and living with the people that he had learned about, just simply randomly putting his finger down on a spinning globe at the New York City Library. A 9-minute walk from the Grand Hyatt and back. And this guy, Sal, sat at a table by himself because he wasn't cool and he didn't have any stories to tell. That man lived his life so fully, so much enriching his life and the others that he would be around when he would go to these places. Because can you imagine being in Tonga and some guy shows up in the Grand Hyatt in New York City and he knows everything about your culture, he knows about your people, and he's welcomed there. And they welcome his interest and curiosity, and there he is. He makes friends with those people, and then he leaves and goes back to work, clearing off scrambled eggs off of plates, and then going back to the library. And that was his life. For as long as I knew him, for almost 3 years at the Grand Hyatt, that was Sal sitting at the table by himself, not the cool kid, because he was too quiet and wasn't engaging in all the rest of the stories that everybody else wanted to tell. Crazy stories, like a guy by the name of Beelzebub. That's what we called him. By the way, we all had name tags on with our real names, but then everybody gave each other fake names, normally girl names. Beelzebub's real name was, I think, Marcus, but everybody called him Mary. And this is why he was known as Beelzebub, because if you ever had any problems with anything, he would notice whoever the problem person was, that would be some diner sitting there, he would then always heat up whatever he could possibly heat up. Like, for instance, when somebody complained about one of the customers complaining about the cheesecake and that it was too cold, Beelzebub would take the bun burner, the coffee pot, off, and he'd take the fork and put it down on top of the burner, hold it there for a little while, put his hand on his hip, tilt his head to the side, and then pick the fork up. I can't imagine what the temperature was. Put the coffee pot back down, hand the fork to the other waiter and said, "Here, serve it to him." That's why they called him Beelzebub, because he heated up everything he possibly could in a maniacal way. And he would burn whatever the customer's mouth or whatever they touched, because that's the way he got back at everybody. That was the quality of people that were able to pass the lie detector test at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. But there he was, Sal, sitting by himself, living a life that no one could possibly imagine. Sometimes the cool kids' table is not really the cool kids' table. There you go.
Wow. How old was Sal when you were working there?
I would say he was probably in his 30s, late 30s.
Not married, no kids,
nope,
obviously.
Nope.
Do you
his
remember...
father was injured in World War II, and he took care of his dad, and his mom was an alcoholic. So he basically, and his older brothers and sisters left, so he was sort of stuck. He was the youngest, so he was sort of stuck caring for his parents. And I think he just thought, well, I'm going to see the world somehow, and that's what he did. You have to have some real gumption, right? You got to really commit. So what it allowed him to do was the day-to-day life of living in New York, and the day-to-day of, like, scraping dishes and, watering and coffeeing people. That was nothing, right? Because he was always outside of that with something else, that he wanted in his life. It was great.
Yeah.
And I was eventually living vicariously through him. So where else have you been? He had been everywhere, right? And I said, do you ever not, like when you put the finger down on the spinning globe, do you ever not go there? He said he had to make a commitment that when he put it down there, he would go there. As long as it was, there was some civilization somewhere.
A war zone or something?
Yes.
Do you remember where he went in the 3 trips he took while you were working with him?
Maybe somewhere near Laos was one of them. He went to some place up near in Poland. That was the other thing I said to him. Well, you could fix it because, the top of the world, you're looking up in Antarctica or something or down there. It all depends on where it is. He said, well, he tries to hit the top part, middle part, and bottom part. He would alternate on the things. Yeah. But he saved his money, and that's how he lived his life. And every 6 months, he'd come back there and sit at that table.
It's amazing if you have a goal or something that you're constantly working towards, how much better that can make kind of the
my God, absolutely. Yeah. My only famous person I ever saw there, Beelzebub didn't do it. I did it by mistake. Remember Fred Herman from the Monsters? Take the pill, and then the grandpa. Take the pill, Herman, the pill. Yeah. Was that the Monsters? Yeah. With Eddie Munster?
Fred was
the
Monsters. Grandpa.
It was Grandpa. Yeah, Grandpa. And take the pill, Herman, the pill, right? And then Fred was the monster, and then Grandpa looked like a vampire, right? Am I right?
Yes, Grandpa was a vampire played by
Mm-hmm.
Herman, what's this? I need his real name, not his fake name. Al Lewis.
Al Lewis, yeah. So those two guys came in. Fred Herman, I think, and Al Lewis. Yeah, the two of them, they were sitting there, and I went over to ask if they wanted more coffee again because I kept giving Lewis more coffee. And then I went over and I said, would you care for some more coffee? And I didn't hear what he said, and I started to pour the coffee. And then for some reason, he put his hand over the cup of coffee, and I poured it right onto his hand. I was hoping I would pour it, and I thought about it later on. Some friend goes, oh, did you pour it onto the monster's hand? Because he would have done that. No, it was on Fred's hand, or the other guy's hand, the uncle, the grandpa.
Grandpa.
Take the pill, Herman, the pill.
How did he take it?
He's like, I don't know.
Lose your job over it?
No, he didn't lose his job over that one, no. By the way, though, it was really crazy. Evita was playing in New York City. It opened, I think, in 1977. It closed in 1983. When the waitress that I was working with got on Broadway to play the part of Evita, she had it for like 6 weeks. I was like, oh, my God, her career's taking off. And then 6 weeks later, there she is. Taking orders.
Tough business.
Tough biz, huh? Get into radio like Nate.
Yeah.
So secure.
Uh-huh.
Fred Gwynn. Thank you, Fred. It is Fred Gwynn is the name of the Herman Munster. There we go. Got all that. All right, here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
There's support brought to you by Seattle Sports. Westbound 90 midspan. We've got a crash in your right lane. Right now, backed up to about Island Crest Way. South 5 heading into Seattle. Bumper to bumper at 80th down to I-90. Linwood to Seattle's up to 35-minute trip. North 5, you're packed approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Southbound 405, really heavy through Bellevue all the way through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's a half-hour trip. Seattle to Federal Way, we're at 45 minutes. You've got a hefty backup from Interurban Avenue down to South 200th, where we recently cleared a stall out of the HOV lane. And a heads up tonight at 10 o'clock, the off-ramp from North 5 to State Route 599 will close overnight for guardrail repair. That's tonight at 10 through 5 a.m. Thursday morning. Let's see. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Longevity Medical Clinic has been, the doctors over there have been my doctors since 2009. And I've noticed recently, if you're scrolling around on Instagram or Facebook or something, there's all these new clinics that are popping up where you can do it, via mail. Oh, if you'd like to live a longer life, you should check this. You should inject NAD, and you should be able to get this, and you're going to be able to have this and that. I was thinking to myself, hold on a second. Longevity Medical Clinic has been doing this for 25 years. Dr. Mixon early on was talking about, different ways to be able to slow down the aging process and be, oh, that's not true. And now, sure enough, all the research, all the know-how is proving them right. That Longevity Medical Clinic has had thousands of patients that have extended their lives, that have kept back heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, and have also just given themselves more energy and vitality to slow down the aging process. It happens. You can do it as well, working with the latest science and the doctors at longevitymedicalclinic.com. Take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
A KIRO News Radio exclusive.
This is Charlie Harder. I've spent the past 6 weeks investigating a story involving a youth pastor, child abuse, a mayor, and a name change, all while civic leaders appear to look the other way.
I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening.
There's some level of calculation there.
You have to make it right.
Join Seattle's Morning News tomorrow morning at 6:15 and 8:15. Watch the full story at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio YouTube page.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer the exclusive K-Guard gutter system. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. Call today or visit us online at guardianroofing.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For them, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Debate continues over Everett's no-sit, no-lie ordinance. The City Council was expected to vote today on whether to extend it by another 2 years. Members heard testimony from people for and against it.
This no-sit, no-lie law, it's a very deep personal issue to me. I was homeless for over 5 years, and I can tell you from experience that dehumanizing people does not help.
I have had to, until this no set, no lie went in, I had a person on staff that came in at 3 a.m. to wash the steps so that the employees could come in and not have to step in stuff.
In the end, the council voted to delay that vote. Members say they want more information on the people who've been cited under the ordinance. Senate voted today and failed for a 12th time to pass a spending measure to end the government shutdown. This furloughed worker tells CBS News.
You're playing with people's livelihoods. People got to pay rent, pay their, bills, utilities.
Upwards of 80,000 workers in our state are being affected. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports some could qualify for unemployment benefits through our state.
If you're a furloughed federal worker, you can apply for jobless benefits through Washington State. But the Employment Security Department's Donna Mack adds.
For the folks that are going to work and working without pay, they won't be eligible for unemployment insurance because they're working, even though they're not getting paid.
Those include essential workers like air traffic controllers, federal law enforcement, members of the military, and more. Both furloughed and essential workers will likely receive back pay once the government reopens, but any jobless benefits received would need to be paid back.
Traffic trouble near Cle Elum. All westbound lanes of I-90 near Cle Elum are closed after an overheight truck hit an overpass. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
State Trooper Jeremy Weber tells me there's no sign of impairment, but no answers to why the driver with an oversized load didn't go around the I-90 Bullfrog overpass.
They drive for a living much like I do, and we have to be at the top of our game.
The impact sent concrete flying and left dozens of pieces of rebar dangling over the interstate. It's the third bridge hit by a truck in the past couple of months. As State Route 167 overpass in Pacific remains under repair, the nearby White River Bridge on State Route 410 just reopened. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
At 3:32 now, we go to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
This one brought to you by Washington 811. We already cleared that collision westbound 90 mid-span. You're backed up from Island Crest Way out to the bridge deck. Not too bad of a backup here. Bellevue to Seattle will take you 25 minutes. It's 15 minutes on a wide open 520. South 5 James Street, we've got a new collision. It's in the left lane, and you're backed up to Ravenna. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 35 minutes. You've got more crowding to get through in Linwood. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. It's crowded from the U District all the way to Linwood, but you're doing good speeds here. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. It's crowded between Kirkland and Canyon Park. South 405, heavy from mid-Bellevue through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way is a 45-minute drive already. It's hefty backup from interurban down to South 200th. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, plan on 50 minutes. Pretty solid now down the entire stretch. You'll catch a couple-mile break there through Auburn. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damages to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exterior. Still seeing a couple of light showers, mainly over the Olympic Peninsula. The rest of western Washington looking mostly dry for now with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Right now, 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It's Home Comfort Alliance. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric.
Mini splits.
Heat pumps.
Refrigeration.
They don't have refrigeration.
My bad.
Cooling and electric. Okay. Here we go, everybody. John Curley Show. 1-888-973-5476. 1-888-973-5476. Give Teeny something to do other than drink whiskey. Better of the day, Teeny. Get ready. All right. Should we do Day in History?
Yes.
Why not? People seem to enjoy this sort of stuff. It should be educational and entertaining at the same time. 1934, FBI agents kill fugitive Pretty Boy Floyd. What? Are you upset about that? I didn't read anything about Pretty Boy Floyd, yeah. 1962, JFK addresses the Cuban Missile Crisis and shocks the nation. 1965, President Lyndon Johnson signs the Highway Beautification Act because Lady Bird wanted it. Do you read about Lady Bird and how she got all her money and then how Johnson got the money from all the TV radio stations?
No.
2012, Lance Armstrong is stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles. If I tell you, this is not a day in history. This is like my own little personal story. So my friend owned a company called Rocket 7. They made, I don't know if they still do it or not, really great bicycle racing shoes. Amazing how they fit you. Because the thing when you ride a bike for like 100 miles, these guys are in the Tour, your feet really get hurt. The toes get all crunched and stuff, so you have to have really, really well-fitted shoes. So Rocket 7 used to send you this box, you put your foot in it, and then it would get a shape of your foot, and they would custom the mold of it for your feet. It was a great shoe, Rocket 7. I don't know if they're still there. See if they're still making them.
All right.
Anyway, Lance Armstrong finds out that he likes the shoes. So Lance Armstrong flies down to Nike, and it's Nike and my friend from Rocket 7 and the Nike people are there, and they're going back and forth, and they're trying to determine, where will the Nike swoop go? Well, my buddy's like, your Nike swoop can go up your butt, right? Because Rocket 7 is who make the shoes.
Right.
And they're going back and forth. Well, we want it here. We want it here. We want it on the side. We want this. Because they want, of course, Lance is going to ride Nike. It's because he's Nike. And how about, so my buddy's just going, well, how about the swoop's like a little teeny swoop? We'll put it right here. And the rest is Rocket 7. And they're pushing back and forth on this thing. I don't know how long the conversation went for. But finally, Lance Armstrong, it says, blankety blank, 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 blank. I don't give a blank. I just want those shoes. You work it out. And then he leaves and flies away in a jet or whatever. And my friend's like, well, that didn't go well. But he thought he would have Lance riding with Rocket 7 shoes. Well, a couple of months later, he gets a call from somebody, and they're like, hi, I got the shoes, and I'm having problems. Part of the toe part has come up underneath. I was wondering, how do you, if I want to fix that on my own? And he's like, wait a minute. This is Nike. This is somebody from Nike calling up wanting to reverse engineer my shoe. Yeah. But then he told me that a lot of those guys were riding Rocket 7s, but they would put the logo of the people that were sponsoring them right over his stuff. It's still there, Rocket 7?
Still there, yeah. Rocket7shoes.com.
The best. Anyway, there's your Lance Armstrong. All right, now the rest of the stuff. Let's do the Cuban Missile Crisis. The movie, 13 Days, makes Kennedy out to be some big super duper strong hero. Not quite. In fact, not at all, because now a bunch of hidden telegraphs, letters back and forth have all come out from the KBG to really explain what was really happening with JFK and Khrushchev at the time. Here's a little bit of sound. This is from October 2nd, 22nd, 1962.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup on the island of Cuba. Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island. The purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. So they do a blockade. Well, here's what was happening. First of all, Khrushchev wanted Kennedy to win. He didn't want Nixon to win. He thought Kennedy was too much of a liberal and would be so much of a liberal that he would be able to sort of bat the guy all over the place. In fact, he even sent Russian spies to Washington, D.C. to help kind of push along Kennedy's election. Kennedy didn't know this was happening at the time, but Khrushchev wanted Kennedy because he said, that's a guy I can steamroller. And he was able to steamroll Kennedy over and over and over again because he just felt that he was too concerned. He didn't have the Republicans with him. He was afraid of the Democrats, and he could just Khrushchev could just push him wherever he wanted. He did it numerous times. He did it when they set up the communist guerrillas moved into Laos and then used the Ho Chi Minh Trail, remember about that, to move supplies down into Vietnam. So Kennedy did absolutely nothing about that. When they tried to do the Bay of Pigs thing, which failed miserably, that's a plan that he had inherited from Eisenhower. He was going to send a bunch of Cuban exiles in. They were going to land on the beach, and then they're going to free Cuba from Castro. But then when they said, well, you probably get some naval or air support for them, Kennedy's like, no, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. And those guys just got decimated. The whole thing blew up on them. So what finally happened was when Castro, Khrushchev set them up in Cuba, and they had the missiles there and they're ready to go. What happened was they had a secret diplomat came to the White House and said, listen, you want us to get those things out of there? Fine. Then you have to agree to something. You have to agree that you will never, ever, ever invade Cuba. Agree to that. And we want the missiles out of Turkey because the missiles were put in Turkey a couple of years earlier. Well, the Kennedy folks and JFK said, well, then you can never tell anybody that I agreed to allow the missiles come out of Turkey. I can't be seen as that weak. I will give you, we won't invade Cuba, but do me a favor, keep the missiles coming out of Turkey on the down low. Don't even tell NATO that. So Russia said, sure, we'll make all that happen. So they did. They just played them up and down. But if you watch the movie 13 Days, he comes out to be some sort of hero.
So you don't think they had any intention of launching any missiles out of Cuba? They just didn't.
No, they liked the idea of having missiles there. Sure, why not? But they gave up on that thing, but they were able to get the missiles out of Turkey. They didn't use the Turkey thing as a way of, they didn't put the missiles in Cuba to get them out of Turkey.
Gotcha.
But once they got in there, they said, you're just never allowed to invade Cuba again. We're going to be there, and we're going to do whatever we want in Cuba. So, yeah, it's interesting to see when I was reading about all the secret memos that went back and forth. Nobody had seen those before, and now they're out. So there you go.
Crazy time.
Kooky. Oh, we didn't get a chance to do Burma Shave. Well, whatever. We'll act like it happened tomorrow. Okay. By the way, speaking of tomorrow, Katie Wilson, running for mayor, she comes in, and then on Friday we got Bruce Harrell coming in. The mayor's coming in, so that's nice. Back to back, big politicians. Yeah, it is a mayor spectacular. We'll have to get some AI songs written for the two of them. What do you think, huh? Come on, we paid for it.
Okay,
I paid for it.
Fine. You didn't pay for it. I paid for it.
Well, you bring that up at the big dinner tonight.
I will.
All right, here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
We're having dinner?
Yeah. It's going to be over at the zoo.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's see. This report brought to us by Global Credit Union. South 5 beneath the Convention Center. We've got a collision in the left lane. You're backed up to Ravenna. That's a bumper-to-bumper backup. Linwood to Seattle has gone up to 40 minutes. North 5, you're slow from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Our lake bridges are doing okay. Seattle to Federal Ways at 45 minutes. We're slow from the Duwamish Curve all the way to 516, which is very typical. Southbound 405 is heavy from about Northeast 8th now. Bellevue through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you a half hour. Federal Way to Tacoma is a 20-minute trip. You're slow from State Route 18 across the Puyallup River Bridge. If you're continuing into Olympia, Tacoma to Olympia is another 40-minute trip. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Tell you something. What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my hips really started bothering me. My left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, chiropractor, man, your hip's in bad place. Let's do an MRI. So I do, and then I go see this doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60 years old. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to, we don't want you to, we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. Something like that. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I just about 2 weeks ago, right, Joe? I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, or your wrist, or your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner. You want to find out if stem cell can work for you. I'm telling you, this is a great move. You want to find out more, you can go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, where we stand by our quality gutter and gutter guard systems with a 30-year no-clog guarantee on all gutter guard systems we install. Call today and get $250 off gutter guard installation or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, And we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Ba-bum. This is the John Curley Show. Okay, Jim Walsh coming by. They're expanding vote in person options, secure ballot drop-off locations. People are like, Walsh, you're crazy. People are not in there trying to vote when they don't need to vote. He's a dog on a bone on that one. This is breakthrough for everybody. This woman, she's a Japanese scientist, and she got an award because now she had this. I think she was looking at how lizards breathe and other animals breathe that are in. What's wrong?
No. You're
I'm right
close.
so far.
They're underwater lizards.
Yeah, okay. How they breathe underwater.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right, here we go.
A Japanese scientist has invented butt breathing. This is a real thing. It actually has a huge impact on almost every field of medicine because it's an alternative to human lungs. And he first got the idea when he noticed that some animals were able to absorb oxygen in their rectum. So he started with
rectum.
Damn near killed him.
There you go.
Animal experiments primarily on mammals and gave them perfluorocarbon, which is an extremely hyperoxygenated liquid via enamel or rectal catheter. What the scientist is basically doing, and we're just summarizing here for the sake of short form content,
thank you.
is put this hyperoxygenated liquid into the butts of various mammals that are
Why does he have to? He's stealing my thunder here.
Well, did you read it?
Yeah, I read it. Okay.
are
Whatever.
similar to human beings, and it was discovered that it provided enough oxygen to their bloodstream for them to survive. It's very serious research. Cincinnati Children's, Tokyo Medicine, and Dental University think it might save lives. If your lungs go down and you can't breathe, there aren't a whole lot of alternatives out there. There's not a whole lot people can do to oxygenate your blood. But now we do have this one alternative. You could give a patient a rectal catheter with perfluorocarbon and oxygenate their blood for quite a while. I think they can survive days on this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And it uses technology that was once sci-fi, but based on reality. It's stuff that we're all familiar with. And I think this can save lives. If you come into the hospital with your lungs collapsed, if you have a lung problem, if anything goes...
Or just for fun.
Yes.
Just a party trick.
You've seen the movie, well, you probably haven't. The Abyss, James Cameron.
I missed that one.
Did you? I feel like that was in your watching movies.
No. Wrong. Instead of being put on a vent or something, you can just get this and it's probably safer. We have an alternative way to oxygenate blood.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, there you go. Now you know, everybody. There you go. People are talking out their butt there. That probably explains how it all happened. There you go. Andrew being quick with the fart sounds.
Aren't you excited to breathe underwater someday?
Didn't you always have one friend in your group of friends who was able to light his...
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I have video.
What was that person's name?
Brian.
Yeah.
Chad.
Okay. Andrew, do you have that? Who was your friend?
Who was my friend?
Oh, my.
No, you didn't have a friend. In the friend group. The friend group. There was always one guy that was able to light off his gas.
Oh, yes. I did have that one friend.
And their name, please?
Oh, I don't remember now. It's been so long.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is your nickname like Sparky? No? Okay.
Yeah. It's just a normal name, some normal person's name.
Normal name. Okay. All right.
I'm
sure he doesn't remember you either. That makes you feel any
definitely
better.
doesn't remember me.
Okay. Wow. All righty, let's do this. Let's check with Nate with traffic. We'll come right on back. Nathan?
Yeah, all right, Seattle Sports has our update. Linwood to Seattle, a 45-minute trip this afternoon. South 5, you've got minor slowing through Linwood. The brunt of this is this parking lot from Lake City Way to the Convention Center. You're not moving at times there in the U District. This is from a collision that we just cleared beneath the Convention Center, but this opens up a lane, so this should start to thin out for you. South 5 is backed up now, or rather this backup on South 5 has westbound 520 sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup approaching Montlake, Bellevue to Seattle. 20-minute trip, which isn't bad, and that's 20 minutes on both 520 and I-90 right now. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes, pretty solid now between Kirkland and Alderwood. You'll clear out a bit through Canyon Park. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. It's crowded from the U District all the way way through Linwood. Renton to Puyallup, southbound 167, we're up to 55 minutes. Pretty much solid the whole way. And out towards Silverdale, we've got a new collision, southbound 3 at Highway 303. It's blocking your left lane. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This is such a smart idea because, it's going to make your house more comfortable. It's going to be able to customize each room when it comes to temperature. I'm talking about the Quilt ductless heat pump system from Home Comfort Alliance. Here's how it works. Okay, so you're in one room enjoying KIRO radio, and you don't have the other rooms where you don't want to have to heat them or cool them, so you set the temperature for whatever you want in those rooms. You're going to be going up to bed in about an hour or something. Well, then you want the temperature in the bedroom to be set at that degree. So you've got each one of the rooms, wherever you are in the house, is customized. And just think about it, how much energy you save because you're not heating the whole house, right? That's the Quilt ductless heat pump system available at Home Comfort Alliance. They are the flagship partner. They know exactly what they're doing when it comes to installing it in your house. Plus, there's also some tax credits available as well that you want to consider. And you want to talk to Home Comfort Alliance when it comes to anything having to do with heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs. That's Home Comfort Alliance. But think about the Quilt ductless heat pump system to customize the temperature for the rooms that you're in, saving you money every single day with HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Wait, what happened to fall? Winter already? Snow expected in the passes this weekend? Is your car ready? Is the state ready to keep the roads open? I'll go over all the things you need to know, like wiper blades, tire pressure, and just how many snowplows the state's ready to roll out. Coming up tomorrow on Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto-pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through October 26th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended to October 26th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
Pressuring Russia to end Ukraine war.
These are tremendous sanctions.
White House ballroom construction.
The East Wing, as we knew it, is gone.
More than 22-hour-long Senate address.
Thank you very much, and I yield the floor.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump slaps new sanctions against Russia as it continues its war against Ukraine. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
The sanctions are against Russia's two largest oil companies.
I just felt it was time.
President Trump speaking in the Oval Office with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
These are tremendous sanctions. These are very big. Those are against their two big oil companies, and we hope that they won't be on for long. We hope that the war will be settled.
The Secretary General praised the move.
It's all about changing the calculus.
And he said ramping up the pressure on Russia to end this war. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A change of plans in store if you wanted to tour the White House. CBS News has learned that public access to it has been suspended for about 2 months because of East Wing demolition to make way for President Trump's ballroom, according to CBS's Jennifer Jacobs.
This was a much more dramatic alteration project than we first understood. Now, historic preservationists are hoping to put a pause on this and have it go through the normal review process and open it up to public comment, but it seems like it is too late for that.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. has struck an 8th suspected drug vessel, this time in the eastern Pacific Ocean. 2 people were killed, bringing the death toll from all the strikes to at least 34 people. CBS News military consultant, retired Army Colonel Jeff McCausland.
Based on the fact that this was in the Pacific, it's more than likely have emanated from Colombia, as was the previous, the number 7th boat that was sunk. I believe that was perhaps linked to this group called Ejército de Liberación Nacional, which is a Colombian guerrilla group.
The Dominican Republic granted permission to the U.S. military to use their airports for staging operations in support of counter-narcotics flights. That, according to 2 American officials who spoke to CBS News under conditions of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly about ongoing military operations. On this 22nd day of the federal government shutdown, the second longest, a short-term funding bill has failed for a 12th time. Now, the vote took place later than scheduled because Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon made a more than 22-hour-long Senate floor speech protesting what he characterizes as President Trump's authoritarianism.
We have to protest and say this is not normal. We have to ring the alarm bells.
Stocks fell on Wall Street. The Dow closed down 334 points. The Nasdaq fell 213. Now this.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
Coming up, Seattle police agree to a new contract with the city. That is after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron. ProSculpt has our update. Linwood to Seattle has improved a few minutes. We're down to a 40-minute drive. It's bumper to bumper, though, from Lake City Way to the convention center. You're just barely moving at times. We just cleared a collision at the convention center. That was the cause of this. Southbound 99 looking pretty good as an option, just a little slow from the zoo along Lake Union. Our South 5 backup has westbound 520 backed up bumper to mid-span. Bellevue to Seattle's at 25 minutes on both 520 and I-90. Bellevue to Everett 55 minutes, pretty solid between Kirkland and Alderwood. Seattle to Everett 50 minutes. It's crowded from the U District through North Linwood. Seattle to Federal Way is a 35-minute trip. And out towards Silverdale, southbound 3 to Highway 303, collision now partially blocks your off-ramp. ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at ProSculpt.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The Union for Seattle Police say it has agreed to a new collective bargaining agreement with the city. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. We have calls in to the Police Officers Guild, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, we should learn by Monday when westbound I-90 near Cle Elum will reopen. Governor Bob Ferguson says State Patrol still investigating after an overheight truck took out an overpass. WashDOT's Megan Lott says engineers are assessing the damage.
So that we can start putting the pieces in motion to try and figure out when we can get an emergency contract to get this fixed and repaired.
And the governor says the state plans to work with the trucking company to pay for those repairs. Seattle Public Schools could face a massive payout in a civil trial now underway. Attorneys say a math teacher punched a 13-year-old student in the face back in 2018. Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim is now 21. His lawyers say the attack changed his life. Seattle Times reports they're asking for up to $124 million in damages. Auburn police say they're investigating multiple acts of vandalism targeting Halloween displays. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lemibau has that story.
Rob Goshorn's haunted Halloween display under attack.
Looks like the Halloween bandit did it. He came by and slashed 10 of my air blow-ups.
He posted video Monday, not knowing he wasn't alone. That same night, cameras caught a vandalism spree across Auburn. Surveillance video captures teens storming a porch, smashing pumpkins.
One of the victims estimates about $1,000 in total damages. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are seeing some clear skies, at least around Seattle. Some showers over the Olympic Peninsula at this hour. The rest of the week looks to be a bit stormy. Some rain on the way in the coming days. Right now, 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hello again, everyone. It's good to have you with us for this event. It figures to be an exceptional one that doesn't need any buildup.
Thank you, Howard Coast South. Right there, the champ's down. The champ is hurt. Here we go. Have it in the nose. There we go. Guys, hang in. All right. Is he ready? Is he coming on? We're going to see him. Here comes Jim Walsh. Hang on. It's the only music we can get that we still have it's public use. It doesn't cost us anything. You like that? You're a budget cruncher, you, Walsh.
I like Howard Cosell.
Yes,
John.
me too. I love
He was simultaneously the most hated and most loved sportscaster in his day. I sympathize.
Oh, I see. You're drawing the parallels there between Howard Cosell and Jim Walsh. Right there. The champ's hurt again. All right, Walsh. I like your little sign behind you. What is that, huh? That's freedom of speech.
We're all concerned about no kings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We want to make sure we don't have any kings here. We want to make sure there are no kings. We want people to read the Constitution.
We had a king for a while there. And by the way, I got to say, the Republicans blew it on that because when Inslee took over and basically said, I control everything, I get it, we're in a state of emergency, and because of that, you guys can go home. And he had that for how many months did he have the state of emergency was in place?
It was just about 3 years. It was 32 months, something like that.
Yeah. And then when it got back to the lawmakers, it kind of felt like we weren't really able to stop them because the words I think they used in that thing, Jim, were the state of emergency, but then they have to go back to you guys every 30 days to ask, can I keep the...
That's what the law said. My read of the law is that's what it is. You're supposed to check in every 30 days. So he had he had a different read. I don't know that he actually read the law, John. I think Inslee just rolled along with his crown and his purple robe.
Well,
but, down in our part of the state,
yes,
down in the 19th, where men are men and women are women, we didn't abide by any of that nonsense. You could go to the grocery store and walk whatever way you wanted to in the aisle. You could go out to eat.
I remember that, Jim. Yeah, they had flow patterns in the stores that you had to walk in one direction, and then you're allowed to come around back up, and they had these great big stickers on the ground that would show you the arrows, and you had your mask on, all that other nonsense. Get Walsh back on. Did Ferguson take Walsh off the air? Is that what's happening? Some sort of conspiracy? We'll get him back on there because we do want to talk to Jim Walsh about a couple of things you're going to hear over and over again as the legislators go back to Olympia, that we are in a budget crisis, that there's a deficit and we need more money, even though they've already passed the largest tax increase ever, $9 billion. But for some reason, there's a shortfall, there's a gap, and the deficit needs to be addressed immediately. So I wanted to get from Walsh, if we get him back on the air, to find out why, if they just passed a $9 billion tax increase, why do we need to have where's the shortfall come from? So maybe Walsh will be able to get that for us. You going to get him back on there? Is he coming back on?
Every time I see his face, he's just frozen still, and then he goes away. So we're trying to...
Okay.
We're probably going to give him a call here.
Okay, that'll work. Just get him back on the line. Also, the other effort that the Republicans are trying to make to get some victories in the state of Washington is school boards. They did a very, very aggressive campaign in 2023 that they tried to get members onto the school board that were a bit more conservative, and they actually were quite successful. They ended up, of the 36 races that they were in, Republicans were able to take 32 of those to get the people on the school board. But as Mark Twain used to say, God invented the school board for practice, and then he invented idiots. I'm not saying anybody on there is that. So often the school board has some people on there that might not be the brightest, but I'm sure of the 32 wins that the Republicans got, all those guys are as sharp as a tack. So is Walsh coming back on? And we'll get him to come on. If not, you know what we can do? We can always get him later. I got lots of news. Look at this. I got all sorts of news.
But we're still trying to get him on the line.
Maybe if his walk-on music will help. Here we go. Also, when Walsh gets back on, I do want to talk to you about the initiative process that's happening. So Let's Go Washington is already about 56% on one initiative, which is Parents' Bill of Rights, and then the other one to allow girls to compete against girls in sports. That one is also above the 58%. They have all of this going simultaneously, and they expect to have those initiatives in place. So I do want to get Walsh. Okay, you're back. You froze on me. All right, Jim. Let's just jump right into the big stuff. Can we just do initiatives real fast? I was just talking about the fact that the collection is ahead of schedule. The one says the Parents' Bill of Rights. The other one is let girls compete against girls in sports. Both seem to be, I don't know, that's something that polls very well. I think 70% of Washingtons, when asked about it, they're all for it. There are a few people that don't like it. I think there's been 40 documented attacks on signature gatherers. So what happens when these things, if they get the right amount of signatures, it goes back to Olympia? Then what happens, Jim?
There's a third one, too, the voter ID one. There are all three initiatives to the legislature.
Right.
So that's the version of the initiative that, if it qualifies, it goes before the legislature as like a bill. And the legislature has to acknowledge it. The legislature can do one of three things. It can vote it into law. And in that case, all they need are simple majorities of the two chambers, the State House and the State Senate, and the governor has no role. Governor doesn't get to veto. Governor has no role in it.
Okay.
If the two chambers pass it, it becomes law. If they don't pass it, it goes to the people. So if the legislature either votes no or just ignores it, it goes to the people for a vote at the next general election. So that would be the midterm 2026 general election ballot. These would be on that ballot.
Let's talk politics for one. Jim, politics on this one. They don't want it to go to the people, do they?
No. In all three cases, these are reforms that poll, like you said, 70% positive on the low end. Some of the polls indicate even greater support. So so far, generally what happens with these is the speaker decides the political cost of having them on the ballot in November of 2026 is too high, passes them into law, and then has a plan for trying to muck with them 1 year later when they could muck with them.
Is that what we saw, the mucking on the Parents' Bill of Rights? Is that what happened on that one?
Absolutely. They waved it through. They passed it into law in 2025, and then 2024, and then at the beginning of 2025, they had a bill which effectively gutted the Parents' Bill of Rights. And so one of these three initiatives restores the Parents' Bill of Rights basically to where it was before the gutting. And this is a game I think we're willing to play. If they're going to keep trying to screw with parents' rights and families' rights, we'll keep reasserting it. And as long as we've got that little video snippet of Senator Jamie Peterson saying parents have no rights, I think we'll have a motivation for people to support the initiative.
Again, playing sort of inside politics on this, explain why they don't want it to go to the vote of the people.
Because that would motivate base conservative voters to vote. There's low turnout among conservative voters for different reasons. Some are discouraged, some think things are rigged, whatever they think. These are clear reasons for conservatives to vote. And it persuades moderate voters to vote for something that is connected with conservative and Republican support. And once they are voting once that way, and remember, initiatives in a general election ballot, when an initiative is on it, it's at the top of the ballot.
Right.
It's the first item. So somebody votes for a conservative thing at the top of the ballot, they're more likely that swing voter is more likely to vote for conservatives down the line.
When McKenna ran for governor in 2012, was it intentional that the Democrats put those initiatives in place knowing that it would get the turnout and help to defeat Rob?
I believe it was. That was the lesson we took from that. And that's why we've been using that same mechanism, that same strategy the last couple of cycles.
You're also using a similar strategy when it comes to ballot harvesting, which I always thought was supposed to be bad. But now it's like, well, if you want to play this game, let's all play the game. Explain how that works.
Ballot harvesting is where third-party individuals, canvassers, door knockers pick up the ballots from voters at their homes and take them to the county auditor, the county elections office, deliver them to be counted. It's like a human version of a ballot box. It is legal in the state of Washington. There are other states where it's not legal. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, Republicans and conservatives in Washington looked down at it. They thought it was a dirty practice or a sleazy practice. I like to win elections, John, and so I don't care if people think it's dirty or sleazy. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it in a targeted way. We're going to have groups that'll go out. They've got like a badge on. They got credentials that show they're legit, and they'll pick up people's ballots from their homes or apartments, wherever they are, and deliver them to the county to be counted. It's a more secure way, in some ways, of delivering ballots in an all mail-in vote state. But also, it is a good get-out-the-vote mechanism. There are people who might not otherwise vote, but if somebody's going to come knock on the door and offer to pick up the ballot, they'll fill it out and give it to the volunteer or the person, and they'll deliver it to the county. So the other side, the left, has used this very effectively in this state. It's legal in this state, even though it's not in others, and we're going to use it. We tested it last year in a couple of legislative races out in Yakima that were hotly contested, and the Republicans won all three of those races. Now we're expanding it, and we'll, if it continues to be successful, we'll keep building it out over the next couple of cycles.
Your job is to get people to show up and vote, Jim. Is it getting harder every year as Republicans, conservatives, or libertarians, or at least slightly right-leaning Democrats feel as if their voice has been completely muted? And why bother voting?
Well, you have to give them something to believe in, John. You have to give them a reason to vote.
Yeah.
And that's what the initiatives do. That's what, this fella with the crown on behind me, this current governor, is helping us do by being so awful at his job. I think we've got a better message than we've had in recent years, and that's because the other side is acting so much worse. They're fixated, obsessed with Donald Trump. In the meantime, they can't balance a budget to save their lives. They're hurting working families with all their taxes and the cost of gas and diesel. All our current governor and our state attorney general are doing is trying to blame everything on the president when they're the ones cutting Medicaid, Apple Health in Washington. And we got a school superintendent who is like from the Three Stooges. I mean, the guy's horrible, and school performance keeps getting worse. So they're making it easy for us, John.
I want to play for you a cut. This is the governor was at the White River Bridge. This is last week, talking about a $2 billion budget shortfall, at which I thought you guys raised the taxes $9 billion, but here we go.
I'm mindful of all those factors and to make sure that we are balancing our budget, which we're required to do. And so you'll see a budget that's thoughtful in that way, that balances our budget. We're going to see significant reductions in our budget. There's no other way to balance that budget than doing that. But I don't want to give everything away before we propose the budget, but that gets proposed in about 2 months.
And will there be an opportunity to work with Republicans who might have some ideas on how to close that gap?
I can assure you I hear on a regular basis from our Republican friends in the state legislature on a regular basis. During the last legislative session, for example, we held regular meetings, for example, with Senator Braun and Representative Stokesbury throughout the legislative session. Those are common. Senator Braun has my cell number. He calls me from time to time when he's got thoughts about the budget. So we're in regular communication on both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm. Why the laughter, Walsh?
Because it's absurd. That whole idea, they've got my number. What arrogance. Okay. Look, he's wearing this fiscal mess. We were projected to be $20 billion in the red, so he raised taxes $14 billion. Now, it didn't do anything. Now we're projected to be $2 billion in the red. I mean, these numbers are somewhat absurd too, John. The more realistic projection is $400 million in the red. Now that's still bad, but guy doesn't know how to write a budget. That's the problem. And this whole, they can call me. Braun can call me. Stokesbury can call me. I talk to those guys. Whatever. He doesn't listen to anything they tell him. The Senator Braun and his crew put forward a hold the line spending budget that balanced. It didn't even get a hearing, John. This governor doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't know how to write his own budget. That's the problem. And here we have proof. He rams through all these tax increases, and it's still not enough. He needs the help of people who know how to balance a budget.
Jim, can I tell you?
Notice too when he talks?
Yeah.
He repeats words like for emphasis. And he only ends up sounding like Kamala Harris. It sounds like word salad.
Okay, hang on. Let me tell you something. A friend of mine named Fred gave up on Washington. You lost a really good Republican, and a lot of Republicans and conservatives, libertarians, even people identify as independents are done, Jim. And if they have the capacity financially and emotionally to move, they're moving. They're going from the state of Washington, seeking a safer place where there is more freedom and there's less taxes. Washington State now is one of the third most expensive places to live, not only with taxes, but also ongoing government regulations on top of building and housing, transportation. People are leaving. I mean, not in droves, but drip by drip they leave because they're sick and tired of having their taxes raised, their gas taxes going to just ridiculous programs that don't do anything. People are voting with their feet, Walsh. You see this, you hear this. There's corporations that are leaving, businesses that leave because they're just sick of the environment that is Washington State.
It's a tragedy. This is a beautiful place to live. I don't want to live anywhere else in the world. Some people are leaving, John, but we're converting people to sanity faster than people are leaving. What they say about the legislative district I represent in Olympia was the same thing. Well, people are moving out. People are moving out of this area. Well, yeah, some moved out, but we've been able to convince more people that if you tell the truth and you're transparent in what you do, you end up with better results. So I think that's the message we're going to continue to offer, and I think it's getting picked up by more and more people. We'll find out. We got an election happening right now. You mentioned those school board races. We won some school board races, some good ones. We're expanding that program, and we got a couple of special legislative races happening right now. Pick up one or two of those, and it doesn't change the world in Olympia, but it changes the direction and it changes the momentum, and I think that's a healthy thing.
That's what we need, a change in momentum. So it's the old thing, if you poop the bed, you got to stop putting new sheets on it, take that entire mattress and just get rid of it. But at this point, they're pooping the bed, and that'll be an advantage for all of us. They're making the biggest mistake, which is they continue to lie to us. They continue to tell us they have a deficit. They can tell us they have a crisis, and they want more and more and more of our money, right? And eventually, people will try to seek higher ground and cleaner linens. Walsh?
It's a beautiful state, John. We have so much here. We've got natural resources that are they're the rival. There is nothing like it in the world. And we've got natural resources that we've screwed up. We can straighten those all out. The fish are already running better.
Okay.
And the trees aren't going anywhere.
Now you're into the fish. I got to throw it to Nate doing traffic. Jim Walsh, always a pleasure. There he goes. Sorry about the interruptions. All right, technical difficulties. All right, quick over to Nate checking traffic. Sorry, Nate.
All right, hey, no problem. I wanted to hear about those fish, man. D.R. Horton has our update. Linwood to Seattle, we're down to a half hour. You've got a backup in Linwood, but it's packed from Lake City Way to I-90. Southbound 99, thick now from the zoo across the Aurora Bridge. Bellevue to Everett, just hit 1 hour. Seattle to Everett, still about a 50-minute commute. Everett to Marysville, you're looking good today, taking just 10 minutes to make that commute. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. It's bumper to bumper from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. From there, you'll thin out, but it's still crowded all the way into Renton. The D.R. Horton National Red Tag Sales Event has been extended through October 26th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today or drhorton.com, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Okay, mortgage rates are down. That's good news if you want to sell your house, if you want to buy a house, because that is like a logjam for a while. So what you're going to see start sprouting up around the neighborhood are those for sale signs. And I'm going to get a little bit of advice for you. If I were going to be selling my house right now, I would call Mike Novak. Mike Novak. Why? Because the guy has the results to prove that his system works, and Mike Novak is willing to put his money where his mouth is. In fact, he'll do this for you. If Mike Novak can't sell your house in 21 days, you don't owe him anything. No commission. And that's a lot for Mike Novak because, you know what? He spends 70 times more than the average agent when it comes to marketing your house to make sure that it is seen and shown and then sold. Mike Novak sells houses like no one else does. And this guy has the system that's going to be able to get your house sold. You've got to talk to Mike Novak because he knows exactly what it takes to sell a house in a down market or an up market. And as now more houses go on the market, you want to make sure Mike Novak's name is out there on that sign in front of your home. MeetTheNovaks.com. That's MeetTheNovaks.com. Novaks, Novak. That's MeetTheNovaks.com.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer K-Guard Gutter System. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. These top-of-the-line guards are exclusively available only at Guardian. K-Guard is designed to keep debris out, and their durability means they look great year-round without rusting or warping. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect your home with Guardian. To learn more about Guardian's exclusive K-Guard Gutter System, call today or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your time is money, so why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Ooh, mate, remember those yodelers who met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. State engineers are still assessing the damage on I-90 near Cleellum, where an overheight truck slammed into an overpass today. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
State Trooper Jeremy Weber tells me oversized loads are supposed to go around, not under the I-90 Bullfrog Bridge. And when this one truck driver didn't do the right thing,
then of course struck the bridge and caused massive damage.
The impact sent concrete flying and left dozens of pieces of rebar dangling over the pavement. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Governor Bob Ferguson says we should learn no later than Monday how long the freeway will be closed. City leaders in Everett delayed a vote today to renew their no sit, no lie ordinance. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has details.
The law bans sitting or lying down in parts of downtown Everett. It also restricts food distribution without a permit. The council heard public testimony Wednesday from critics and supporters.
These ordinances criminalize homelessness.
We're not trying to criminalize the homeless, but just know that not everybody who comes to our neighborhood respects our neighborhood.
Councilmember Mary Fossey moved to table the motion until more data is available on who's been cited under the ordinance. The council voted 4-3 to postpone the vote. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
The Tacoma City Council has expanded its camping ban. The new law adds buffer zones around public schools, parks, and libraries. This builds on a previous ban near shelters and rivers passed back in 2022. A bunch of well-known names are joining forces to say AI needs to slow down. CBS's Matt Piper explains.
The group includes Prince Harry and Meghan, Richard Branson, Steve Bannon, and Glenn Beck, who say AI superintelligence threatens humanity. The group of more than 700 public figures say it should be banned. Their joint letter targets tech giants like Google, Meta, and OpenAI, urging a prohibition on developing superintelligence until safety and public consensus are assured. Harry writes the future of AI should serve humanity property, not replace it. There is no second chance.
2 hikers are safe today after getting stuck in the snow in the Alpine Lakes wilderness. Kittitas County deputies say the pair became stranded near Peggs Pond Trail on Sunday. They called 911 reporting they were cold and wet with nothing but a plastic tarp for shelter. Search and rescue teams hiked 5 miles through tough terrain to reach those hikers. They guided them out of the wilderness to safety. At 4:34 now, we go to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
This one's brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Linwood to Seattle is down a half hour. You've got a backup in Linwood to get through, but it is jam-packed from Lake City Way all the way down to I-90. Bellevue to Everett has hit 1 hour. Pretty solid between Kirkland and Alderwood. You got a little clearing there in Canyon Park. Seattle to Everett's a 50-minute commute. Your backup starts in the U District through Linwood. It's really thick there through Northgate. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 25 minutes on I-90. It's 20 minutes on 520. North 5, heavy volumes from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. It's bumper to bumper from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way is a 35-minute drive. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway has improved. We're down to about 45 minutes. Text the newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. Get the latest news and updates from your favorite KIRO News Radio shows straight to your inbox. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, staying mostly dry for tonight through much of tomorrow. Some heavier rain near the coast tomorrow night, and then Friday, a lot of heavy rain, even some urban flooding is possible. Right now, looking at 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the Morning gets you plugged in and connected to our community. Important stories and breaking news happening right now from where you live. Plus, KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes gets you prepared before you head out the door. Get up, get ready, get going with KIRO 7 News in the Morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
Thank you, Joseph. Well said, well read. Ready for your big dinner. Did you hear that, Aaron? Joe's going to a big dinner with Big Boss Kathy and
right on.
Bitter Brian Buckaloo.
Yeah,
Where are you guys going?
It's at the zoo. That's what they told me.
Yeah, it's at the zoo. That's right. We'll see you there.
You're not going to the zoo.
Huh?
You're not going to the zoo.
Turn off. Hey, Andrew, turn off Nate's mic for a second so he can't hear anything. No, we're just told.
I see. I got you. The zoo. Oh, great.
That's gonna be good. Yeah, that's fine over there.
Okay. Why wasn't I
Bucky's
invited?
Auto Service Centers. What?
Why wasn't I?
Because this is this thing going on over here. Don't worry about it.
He didn't
Don't
want to
worry.
go alone, so somehow
Yeah, I'm bringing you along. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. They've got 15 locations. They've got 16 locations. Been around for 50 years. It's Bucky's Auto Service Centers. Don't worry. You'll get a taste.
I'm not worried.
You'll get your beak wet. You heard that expression?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I know.
Okay, don't worry about it.
It's not what you're thinking.
I'm not thinking anything.
Okay.
I'm doing a
What are you
radio show
thinking?
over here. It says on air. All right, let's be professional.
Right.
Is that what that says? Yeah. I didn't think that was working anymore.
I can't read it. There's nothing there. All right. Big deal. Oh, my God. Trump, he's destroying the White House.
He started literally physically tearing down the White House. This is not AI. I mean, the No King's Day protests saw 7 million Americans turning out in the street.
What's this guy still doing on the show, on the radio or the TV, this MSNBC? This person. Rachel.
Rachel?
Oh, Rachel. Yeah. I thought she got canceled.
Imagine how many millions more there might have been if we had seen these images on Friday.
Yeah, people are marching around because they're knocking down the walls. And then some senator.
This is not about money. There is enough money to bail out Argentina with $20 billion. There is enough money to renovate the White House ballroom. What there's not enough money for under this Republican government is you.
Oh, okay. So, it's money all of a sudden. Just we're a $38 trillion deficit. Trump spoke about the need for the big White House, the ballroom.
We're building a world-class ballroom. For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom here. We don't have a ballroom. We have a little cocktail area, but we don't have a ballroom. The East Room, it's called, is a very small cocktail area. It holds about 88 people if it's tight. And I said, if I do this again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money. With the government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it
reminds me of a casino that went bankrupt.
Reminds me of money.
Yeah.
In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it, so it's the opposite. But it's going to be one of the most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Joe, a little history music in there, Andrew. Here's what they're doing. They're knocking down, I think there's about 4 offices that they're getting rid of in order to put the ballroom in place. So they're temporarily moving one of the walls. It is not like this is the first time this has ever happened. The number of times that they've built and rebuilt different things at the White House, and people are like, oh, it's corporations buying their way in. Welcome to America. Harry Truman and Teddy Kennedy did a whole bunch of work in the White House. Let's see, there was a putting green put in by Eisenhower. There was a swimming pool, an indoor swimming pool that was in place. The Kennedy put stuff in, Eisenhower, Ford. The fact that they put in a swimming pool, an indoor swimming pool, and then Nixon didn't like it, so he filled it in. Then Ford put one in outside. That's still there. Then they put a tennis court in, and then Obama came in and said, hey, can we add basketball courts to the tennis court, which they did. They changed, the West Wing was added in 1902. The East Wing was added in 1902 as well. There was a bowling alley. They only had 2 lanes, and then Nixon was like, I want another bowling alley. So they put
another one?
So I don't know why. Yeah, they've all done stuff in there. The tennis courts, I mentioned those before. So it's not that big of a deal. And the stateroom, for state dinners, they can only hold about 140 people. They pack them in there.
He said 80.
He said 80, but it's okay, got the number wrong. But state dinners have 140. So they're going to put a ballroom in. I think it's going to hold about 900 people or something like that.
But those other renovations, they didn't just whack the whole wing down for it, especially after he said he would not do that. I think that's what a lot of people
removed one of the walls, right? But in order to build the thing, however they got to get it in there. Listen, when they built the West Wing, I'm sure they knocked some stuff down. And when they built the East Wing, the same thing in 1902.
Yeah, but they probably also said, we're going to do that. Trump actually said, I'm not going to harm the East Wing at all.
Oh, okay. All right. And so what's going to happen?
Well, it's happening. He's tearing the whole dang thing down.
It's all the damn, and then what? Then they're going to build a ballroom.
No, who wants the ballroom besides Trump?
Apparently. Well, who wanted the bowling alley? And why do they put a putting green in? And who wanted the tennis courts?
Yeah, but those didn't tear the White House down.
Swimming pool.
It didn't tear the White. And Truman, they had to fix the White House because it was falling down.
That's true. That's true.
Wow, Nate's very passionate about the White House.
Okay, why an indoor swimming pool?
Why not?
How about a family theater? You okay with that?
Well, yeah, it doesn't tear the White House down.
And what? Okay, how about when the British burned the thing down? Was
right,
that a problem? You're still mad about that?
I'm not mad, but that's why Truman renovated it. It was part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then who was Mr. White House?
No. I'm up in arms because Trump said I'm not going to touch the East Wing at all, and here he is tearing the whole thing down.
Okay, well,
that's what I'm up in arms.
Well, then
about.
let's mark that down as the first thing Trump said that wasn't honest.
Okay,
mark it, Andrew. What time is it?
It's 4:42.
Oh my God! Put that in the book
on this day in history.
Yeah,
that'll be there next year.
Who's the big fat? Was it Taft? It was so fat. He was in the bathtub, and then they wanted to get air conditioning in there for him because he was all sweaty and he's in a bathtub. You know that story?
No,
I don't think I have it right. A very
He was
fat.
a big dude, though.
I knew he was fat. I have to look that one up during the break. So make sure Nate doesn't yell at me. Hey, what's I-90 look like right now? What a mess getting over here.
It's terrible.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's
They
closed
said Trump says he was going to knock the overpass down.
Yeah, look what he did. That character, I tell you. Let's see. Linwood to Seattle, we're 35 minutes. You've got a little backup in Linwood, but it's jam-packed from Lake City Way into downtown. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. Seattle to Everett's at 50 minutes. Crossing the lake, we're not too bad. Right around 25 minutes on both I-90 and 520. Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. It's thick through Bellevue. You'll clear out once you get past Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way is at 35 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia looking pretty good. Just a 45-minute drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. I kept hearing ads on KIRO Radio a while ago. If you're over the age of 50 and you don't want to wear contacts or readers or glasses anymore, I was like, well, that's me. And then whoever was doing the announcement said, how about K2 Vision? I was like, ooh, I wrote that down, K2 Vision, RLE. So I then went over to K2 Vision, RLE, and I met with Dr. Kopstein. We talked about golf and a few other things. Lovely, lovely gentleman. And I asked a slightly uncomfortable question. How many of these procedures have you done? Because I want to make sure that he's got a lot of experience. He's operating on my eyes. He said, probably 80,000, maybe 100,000, something like that. And then he explained to me, listen, I'm not going to do this unless it's going to have great results. Now, that was interesting because there are other places that don't say that. They just like, okay, sign up, come on in here. So he takes a look at my eyes. He says, your eyes are a mess. I said, I know, I've got a whole bunch of different glasses for a whole bunch of different things. He said, let's fix it. So the next day, I get both eyes done. 5 minutes one on, 5 other. Takes about 2 Beatles songs. Go back in the next day, I got 20/20 vision. That was like, well, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I still have 20/20 vision. You're going to love it. K2visionrle.com. That's K2visionrle.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Wait, what happened to fall? Winter already? Snow expected in the passes this weekend? Is your car ready? Is the state ready to keep the roads open? I'll go over all the things you need to know, like wiper blades, tire pressure, and just how many snowplows the state's ready to roll out. Coming up tomorrow on Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Catch 10-time Grammy winner Arturo Sandoval, October 23rd through 26th at Dimitro's Jazz Alley. The Cuban trumpet legend lights up the stage with Afro-Cuban rhythms and high-energy jazz. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
All right, we're going to have a mayoral Gabathon tomorrow. Katie Wilson comes in.
That's right.
We try to get her for 2 segments again.
Sure. I don't know what kind of. I mean, she's probably pretty busy.
Very busy, yeah, because she's got the tight race against Bruce Harrell. So the story breaks. I heard some people talking about. She was on KUOW. Katie Wilson was talking about the fact that her, I guess her mom or her dad, helps her pay some of the bills because it's so expensive. That actually adds to her story. It's not like, oh, mom and dad are paying all your stuff and you're some sort of, trust fund kid. She's just trying to make ends meet, so she gets additional help from her mother and father. I think it's her mother and father. I can't remember.
Yes, they're professors at New York State, and she pays, according to Katie, $2,200 a month in childcare, and they send her money to help mitigate those costs.
Well, there you go. Mom and dad helping out. Katie's 43 years old, running up against Bruce Harrell. So she comes in tomorrow, talk to her about how the race is going, and whether or not my endorsement of her has hurt her.
Andrew noticed that it's not on her website.
Oh, something was up for a while there.
They did post it on social media with their official, endorser graphics on it.
Did they make me look whiter?
Oh,
is that possible?
Well, they did it
without actually being translucent. Good. All right. So she comes in tomorrow, and people, I've heard from a number of friends are like, I can't believe you're endorsing her. And I said, listen, I want to see socialism, just like right after World War II. They tried socialism. And right after that, then you got Margaret Thatcher. And because of the attempt to socialism and the taxes and the effect upon the economy, you then got the Iron Lady came in. And she said, socialism is fine until you run out of other people's money. So I said, let's try it. Let's get Katie in there, have her get in there, and then have her tax everybody, and then redistribute all the wealth, and then create all these programs. Who knows? Maybe it'll finally work somewhere. And then they could say, well, we're doing it there, just like they're about to do it in New York City, because it looks like Mamdani is probably going to win this thing. And you'll then see socialism in New York City. You can see it the best run in Seattle as well. But again, as Margaret Thatcher says, it works well until you run out of other people's money, because that's what it is.
Do you actually get to vote in Seattle?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. Would that stop anybody else from voting in Seattle? But there's the question for you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Who you voting for?
I'm undecided.
Oh, liar.
I really am, to be honest with you.
So Katie comes in tomorrow, you'll hear her out, and then when the Bruce Harrell comes in on Friday, you're gonna be like,
That's right. I will make my
I like
decision.
the cut of his jib or her jib.
That's right. We're cutting jibs this week.
The jib that she picked up at the Goodwill shop.
That's right.
All right, let's do this. Let's take over the Nate if he's calmed down at all about the East Wing.
Jeez, look at him. Look at
It's the First Lady's office.
He's up
Come
in
on.
I just had to step in there.
I got no problem with that. Step
All
on
right.
in, baby. Oh, here we go. What's it look like? Here we go.
Washington 811 has the update. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. It's solid from Kirkland to 195th and Bothell, where a collision involving a semi blocks the right lane. Seattle to Everett's at 50 minutes. You're slow from Lake City Way through Linwood. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, it's a half hour on both 520 and I-90. 520 is really heavy. North 5 heavy from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Seattle to Federal Way is a 35-minute commute. Typical backup here from Interurban Avenue to 516. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway. We've already peaked. We're starting to improve. We're down to 40 minutes here. Tacoma to Olympia at 45 minutes. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damages to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at zigsafewa.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. It's like Oprah. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, the doctor told me, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go, to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes. And I'm telling you right now, I had this thing done about 2 weeks ago. I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Mark Wagner. And it could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
A KIRO News Radio exclusive.
This is Charlie Harder. I've spent the past 6 weeks investigating a story involving a youth pastor, child abuse, a mayor, and a name change, all while civic leaders appear to look the other way.
I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening.
There's some level of calculation there.
You have to make it right.
Join Seattle's Morning News tomorrow morning at 6:15 and 8:15. Watch the full story at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio YouTube page.
Apollo Plumbing.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Say what?
You're donating service fees.
To Seattle Children's.
All month.
All the way to $20,000.
Right. That's my problem.
Huh?
Your plumbers cleared my drain last month.
Right.
And already replaced my water heater last summer.
And?
Now I have no reason to call Apollo Plumbing.
And yet you are.
I want to help you help Seattle Children's.
But
I don't need a plumber right now.
Oh, so we can't donate your service fee.
Right.
Got a fix for that.
How?
Visit our website.
Because
we have a donation link there.
Helping Seattle Children's?
Helping them provide patient care, support research, and ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
Love that.
Even if you do call Apollo for help, and we donate your services fee.
Could I donate even more?
Exactly. Benefiting Seattle Children's Hospital.
All this month.
All their service fees.
All the way to $20,000.
Maybe even more with your help.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The reason I love autumn the most,
The John Curley Show.
Soon it will be dark and it will be cold just before nature says, here's a prize for you. Here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Upgrading attic insulation is a popular and cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient, slashing utility bills. Call now and save $299 off attic ceiling and ventilation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. CBS News has learned from 2 U.S. officials that the Trump administration has made plans to soon deploy a team of Border Patrol agents to the San Francisco area as part of its crackdown on illegal immigration. California Governor Gavin Newsom.
It is a disgrace, but it is hardly surprising. It cannot be allowed to be normalized.
In Chicago, the deployment of troops onto city streets is blocked again. CBS's Matt Piper reports.
The federal judge, who had already blocked the deployment of National Guard troops to the Chicago area for 2 weeks, has now extended that order indefinitely. Attorneys for the Trump administration say they'll agree to extend the order, but will keep pressing for an emergency order from the Supreme Court to allow troops. Lawyers representing the city and the state of Illinois have asked the High Court to block it, calling it a dramatic step.
Saying his conversations with Russia's president don't go anywhere on ending the war in Ukraine, President Trump says he hopes new Russian oil sanctions will make Vladimir Putin reasonable. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who was at the White House today, says of the move.
When it comes to the U.S. and all the support for Ukraine, it is there and it is close to the president's heart, and I know this.
Ukraine is recovering from an overnight Russian missile and drone attack. BBC correspondent John Sudworth visited a village that was hard hit.
This country was hit by some 400 drone strikes in the past 24 hours. One of them hit a house in that village, killing a mother, a 12-year-old girl, and a 6-month-old baby. All of this, Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's president, is saying is proof that Russia does not want peace.
CBS's Margaret Brennan reports that long-range missiles provided to Ukraine by the UK include an American component that uses U.S. targeting intelligence. Ukraine has to request the targeting information in order to use the UK missiles. President Trump is defending U.S. military strikes against what he claims are drug-smuggling boats in international waters.
President Trump described the latest strike.
One shot, everyone dead center.
The strike in the Pacific killed 2 people. 7 previous strikes were in international waters in the Caribbean. In total, these U.S. military actions have killed at least 34 people. The president says he doesn't feel bad about it.
You realize that every time you see that happen, you're saving 25,000 American lives?
Referring to American deaths due to illegal drugs, even as some members of Congress are questioning the legality of the president's actions. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
No end in sight as a 12th Senate vote to temporarily fund the government fails and the 22-day-long shutdown rolls on. This furloughed worker.
I'm trying not to stress out about it, but I just need to know when it's going to end so I can go back to work and get paid.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, Seattle police get a raise. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this report brought to us by Home Comfort Alliance. In Bothell, we cleared that collision north 405 at Northeast 195th. You're backed up heavy, though. Into Bellevue gets really thick at 520. Bellevue to Linwood's a 55-minute drive. Tack on another 15 minutes if you're heading into Everett. Seattle to Everett is down to 45 minutes. You're slow from Lake City Way through Linwood. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, it's a half hour on both routes. 520, you're bumper to bumper from 84th across the lake to I-5. I-90 is thick across Mercer Island, but you'll start to thin out once you reach the lake. North 5, you're jam-packed from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. South 5 is heavy from 85th in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton will take you 40 minutes. You've got a hefty backup from 520 all the way down to Coal Creek Parkway. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. A new contract promises Seattle police officers a big raise. Seattle Times reports the agreement would boost starting officer pay to nearly $120,000 a year. That is a 13% pay bump. SPD Chief Sean Barnes.
The agreement modernizes our wages and keeps benefits high so that we can maintain a well-staffed police department, which translates into public safety.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch. Sean, what else is in that contract?
The agreement, Mayor Harrell says, was ratified by SPD rank-and-file officers last weekend. It takes the Community Assisted Response and Engagement Department, or CARE team, from a pilot program to a permanent part of public safety in Seattle. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
A permanent co-equal third pillar of our public safety system. Joining, of course, our police and fire as essential first responders.
CARE responds to calls for service for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Contract still needs to be ratified by the City Council. A Pierce County sheriff's major has been charged now in connection with the crash in Graham back in July. The latest from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Prosecutors have filed 2 vehicular assault DUI counts against Chad Dickerson. They say he hit an SUV with a family of 6 inside, including 3 young children, their parents, and grandmother. The grandmother and one of the children were hurt. Prosecutors say Dickerson had a blood alcohol level of 0.091 hours after the crash. That's above the legal limit of 0.08. He's due in court November 6th. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Engineers are still assessing damage to an overpass on I-90 westbound in Cle Elum. WashDOT's Megan Lott says an overheight truck slammed into the Bullfrog overpass this morning.
We do see about 17,000 drivers going westbound. And we do see about 1,500 vehicles traveling over the overpass every day. So it is going to have an impact on drivers.
And Governor Bob Ferguson says we should learn no later than Monday how long the freeway will be closed. Weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Drier tonight through most of tomorrow. Heavier rain near the coast tomorrow night. And then by Friday, we all see downpours, urban flooding possible, and more wet weather into the weekend. Right now, 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm taking my mask off here for reasons that will become obvious during our discussion.
We will not allow the virus to win the Super Bowl.
We want to go to the heart of this problem, which is the greed and avarice of these oil companies who are still not telling us the truth.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
He did listen.
Yeah, apparently. Took off his mask for obvious reasons.
Reasons that will become clear.
Clear, yeah, that's right. All right. Oh, I'm so glad we moved on. And speaking of moving on, diving into the news, there you go. There you go. The John Curley Show. Teeny's still looking for that letter of the day. Is it you? Is that the great honor bestowed upon the teeny tiny lady in the pickle jar upon your family? It is non-transferable to become the great letter of the day. As we just mentioned, James just had the story about the fact that now the Seattle police, they're going to up the ante. Which brings up just sort of an interesting idea. Not taking anything away from anybody, but it's like, even Joe's like looking online right now. Ooh, could I be a police officer? Do we want people that are motivated by the dollar? You want something? I didn't want to be a cop. A lot of cops that I know are like decent human beings. They're like, I like to help people. I like, when a cop, they may be in the military. They like the fraternity feeling of the military, so that they get in to become a police officer. They like that sort of thing. Like, running down, going after bad guys, willing to willing to go have their life put on the line for other people. But it's like, is that the character of who you are naturally, or do you need to be motivated by an additional, a couple of more zeros on top of something else? Because if it for instance, Joe's a perfect example. Here's Joe thinking, well, maybe I'll become a cop. That's a lot of money. But don't you understand that you're motivated by the dollar, not by what the job is?
I think the dollar helps.
It certainly helps, but should that be the thing you dangle out there?
I think they had so much rebuilding to do after so many cops, moved laterally due to things in 2020 or, other issues that police department has had that,
Yeah, because it's a competitive marketplace. Right. And if you can go to Bellevue or you can go to Federal Way or you go to Auburn or whatever, and you're going to be treated better, you don't have to drive into the city, you're like, okay, I'll go work there. A lot of cops are like, I don't want to work there because it's too boring. A lot of younger cops are like, I want to go somewhere where the action is. So they think, I'll work in Seattle. So they're again competing, one city competing against another one, it's like the Yankees or the Dodgers competing against Kansas City when it comes to just how much money do you have to spend. So then what's the total amount that they're offering? Was it $120,000?
I think 120.
So yeah, the starting salary is almost $120,000. It's a 42% pay increase in just 5 years. Plus, also, they give you a signing bonus to get in. Well, here are the numbers right now, and this is why it doesn't look good. There's about 200 police officers that are 53 years old, so about a quarter of SPD officers are eligible for retirement. You talk to Mike Sloan, who runs the union there. He said, this isn't good. We need to get people up and in the position, especially with the World Cup coming and all the other events that are going on. It normally takes about 5 to 9 months once the person applies. They've moved that up to about a 3 to 5 month period. But by the time you graduate, it takes about a year once you graduate in order to become a police officer and be on the streets. You just want to make sure, Sloan is concerned, and other police officers as well, that they're not lowering the standards to get more just sort of warm bodies in place to be able to have enough to be able to meet the numbers that they're trying to get back up to. Because still at this point, they are at the lowest they have been. I think in 2024 is the lowest they have. A number of police officers that are able to respond has been, I think, the lowest, March 2024, the lowest level ever in 3 decades. So you have to be able to know that if you're a guy going in or a woman going in there to work, that you have to have the political folks behind you and support you, and that they have to have your back. And the character of the mayor and the rest of the city council have to be supportive of police. That's what drove a lot of guys out of there during the whole George Floyd racial reconciliation. So they left, and now you have to try to rebuild the department. So, hey, how about $120,000? Patrick, who used to be my producer, who left here to become a police officer.
Oh, did he?
Joe, I don't think he would pass. I got to tell you something.
I don't think so either. I don't think the regular tests would agree with me.
What are the regular ones?
I don't know. Drug tests. I do like to imbibe in a little legally.
There's a good question.
Marijuana.
So would you give up the proclivity to taking mind-expanding, chemicals in order to be paid $120,000 a year plus the bonus and everything else?
No, that's not for 120.
Oh, okay. What's your number?
Ooh, That's a good question. I don't have one off the top of my head. I've certainly never been offered it before.
You ever had it put together?
No.
Okay. All right. So listen, for the sake and safety of the people that live in Seattle, I hope they can get good people in there. I hope if you respond to the additional 120,000, if that's the motivator for you, if you're thinking going to one city to another, you can come to Seattle. So good if they got the money. The other part of it is the pension that goes along with it, right? So if you're a police officer, you served 30 years as a police officer. Let's say your last year, they take the combination of the years. Let's say it's $75,000. That's low, right? But then to do the math, it turns out that you're going to get $45,000 a year. That's what your pension is. $45,000 a year. So you're in for 30, you made $75,000, then you get $45,000 per year. And if
for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. So you're 53 years old and out you go, and you're going to live another 20 years, let's say. So for 20 years, $45,000. So everybody that works for the city, you got to somehow pay that pension for all of these people. So everybody's paying into the pension to continue to keep these guys in their pensions that are in place. It adds up fast. A lot of cities have some serious problems when it comes to not being able to pay those pensions back. But we'll see what happens in Seattle. We'll have to ask Katie Wilson when she comes in, because in New York City, going back to Mondani, there are a whole bunch of cops that said, if he gets elected, I'm out of here. Forget about it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to retire. I'm going to do something else. If Mondani comes in, I'm gone. And New York rebuilt its police department, and they have a tremendous amount of police there, but they don't think Mondani would have their back. Same sort of thing with Katie Wilson. Will she be supportive of the police? Will the police sense, oh, this woman, she's like Mondani, she's a socialist, and she wants, crack down on this and that, and, this other stuff. Maybe that's, it sends a little signal to them that I don't want to work there. And maybe the same sort of thing when they hear Bruce Harrell a couple of weeks ago during the debate, when asked, well, what if somebody has committed, 6 or 7 years of all these crimes and they've been arrested and then they put back out on the street and then the mayor said, well, I want to know what their story is. I want to know, are they hungry? What were they treated like as a child? The last thing I want to do is put them in jail. Well, if you're a police officer, like you're concerned if they're hungry, feed them in prison. And you can ask them about how their childhood while they're behind bars, not while they're out hitting somebody over the head with a club. So the police in Seattle, we should get the Mike Sloan on, who runs the union, and ask him, does Bruce Harrell have your back? Does Katie Wilson have your back? Which one? Because that's a big part of it, because that's when the police are looking at like, I don't want to work there. So you could offer them $180,000 and they'll go somewhere else if they don't feel that the elected folks are respecting the jobs that they do. So,
how's your ride-along coming?
Is she written back yet?
Is that an SPD ride-along?
Yes, of course.
Cool.
Yeah, I got to get back in there. The ride-along are always fun. Dave, Sergeant Hockett was the sarge, so whenever there was an arrest, the sergeant has to be there. So we would be able to have, he goes, where do you want to go to? And I was like, he goes, we had a heart attack, we got a domestic violence, we got this. They're all there on the screen, right? Yeah. And then he goes, we got an arrest, we got to go to that. So we go over and watch the arrest happen. And it's fascinating to watch the police, work these systems with these people. We had one, he goes, well, you going to go to this one? I said, what did he go? Oh, we're going to arrest this woman for shoplifting. So we roll up just as the other guys are there and the two cops are there. And the woman goes, I just swallowed a bunch of drugs and I'm pregnant. Ugh. I was like, okay, what does that mean, Dave? What's that mean? Dave goes, well, that means we got to call the fire department. We got to get the medics in. So then the medics come rolling in with their truck. Yeah, she said she's pregnant and she just swallowed drugs. And with that, they put her on the stretcher. She goes to Harborview. I said, wait, did she commit a crime? Yeah, well, they know how to work the system. So they say that they're pregnant. They say they swallow drugs. They go up to Harborview, and we're supposed to have a cop sit there and watch them while they go through the test. But by the time they get through the tests and stuff, that cop might be called to have to go somewhere. So he leaves, and that person who's pregnant and consumed drugs just miraculously is cured and just walks out the door.
And they also, the cops know that the likelihood of prosecution ever happening, at least nowadays, is
But they
very
still
low.
go through it. Yeah. The most important number, which I still can't get the real number, is on view and on call. On view, you're driving down the road, you're a cop, you're over near Pike Place Market, and you see something suspicious going on. You pull over, throw the lights on, and go over question. That's on view. right? On call is all units respond to blah, 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 right? That's on call. But the on-view numbers, I've talked to some friends who try to get the on-view numbers. What they've done is when they give you the on-view numbers, they give you traffic stops as well. Person, broken taillight or broken down car, those are on views. So that messes up the number because the number you really want to see is proactive policing. You're driving down the street, you're a cop, you see something suspicious, you get out of the car and you go question them. I don't think those numbers, I don't think the numbers show that there's much on view work being done. Why? Because you don't get out of the car, you don't go over to the guy and say something to him because then that guy's like, oh, you're only stopping me because blah, fill in the blank. You're a racist, or I'm gay, or I'm trans, or whatever else. Then the cop is like, nope. And then at that point, the cop says, are you saying that I've stopped you and I'm questioning you because of this is a violation of your civil rights? Then that cop has a whole bunch of explaining to do. So the people that are on the streets know how to work the system. I'm pregnant and I just swallowed drugs. Off you go. You're stopping me only because of the color of my skin. Boom, that's another problem. So why bother getting out of the car? Why bother having to go through the process? And I might be wrong. I'd love to hear from a police officer who says, no, we do on view all the time. We get out, we look at suspicious things. I can't find the numbers to support that they're actually doing that type of policing. Because if you were a cop, do you want that sort of thing where all of a sudden you have to go explain and then you got to fill out all these forms and they're like, did you stop them for this reason? It's a little black dot next to your name saying, oh, you were accused of something.
And it's also probably further complicated by the fact that, open air drug use is not necessarily a crime anymore. So you're not going to stop and do that.
Why?
Selling.
I mean, it's as bad as what's happened in Portland, right?
Yeah.
Here's a police officer in Portland, liaison officer outside of an ICE facility, saying that the First Amendment includes protesters being able to shut down the road.
Why are we allowing them to block the streets?
Yes.
So it's a delicate balance of people's First Amendment rights and then, allowing cars to move through. This is not a one-way situation. There are other ways to get people from McAdam off and on McAdam. So as of right now, we're not going to enact anything to prevent people from being in the roadway while they're practicing their First Amendment right. We are asking them to not be in the street if they can. That may change, but as of right now, they're allowed to take up the street space because they're practicing their First Amendment right to protest. We don't want to infringe on that right when there's not a major issue of cars coming to hit them. Because this is not a major roadway right here.
In the past, I know, in the 2020 riots in the downtown area, and it was a very hard line about if you step off of the sidewalk, you will be arrested. So has the policy changed, or?
I don't know. So again, it's not like people couldn't get arrested for being in the street. We're just not going to arrest people for being in the street right now. If we're ever going to do that.
What? Listen to this one again. Here it is again.
Changed, or?
I don't know. So again, it's not like people couldn't get arrested for being.
So it's not like they couldn't get arrested.
In the street, we're just not going to arrest you.
We're just not going to arrest you. Oh, okay. So go in the street.
Being in the street right now. If we're ever going to do that, we will make an announcement. Hey, we are going to make arrests for people who are in the street. Anyone that wants to leave the street can leave the street, and they won't be arrested.
Yeah, your civil rights, your First Amendment right. Yes, you can protest. But they put restrictions on it. You on the sidewalk or here because you're not allowed to be on the road. Why? Because you could possibly be hurt. You could be run over. There's a story. I saw this lady who was all upset. I think she got hit by a car. She was out there protesting, and she's saying, oh, that she went to sue everybody. Well, the cop said, don't be on the roadway. And if I'm in my car and I'm driving down the road and you haven't filled out some sort of permit in order to march around, then they know we're going to close the street down because you filled the permit out and we're going to close the street and no cars are going to be on the street. Got it. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. But just closing the roadways down or blocking sidewalks and not allowing somebody else to be able to walk by, the Antifa folks will stand there with their little traffic cones or whatever and reroute people.
Yep.
Right. So who's in charge? Obviously, the Portland police liaison saying, "Oh no, it's their First Amendment right to be on the road." No, it's not. No, but you can. You go to protest all you want. You can do it right here. There's you got a little spot right there. You can yell and scream on the sidewalk. You can do all your jumping around. But on the road?
And that conversation went on for about another 3.5 minutes. And eventually she's like, okay, well, who do you report to? And he said, oh, the certain sergeant or whatever. And it ended with her, basically him saying this is at the mayor's directive.
Yeah. The mayor does not want, they see it this way, that if they arrest these people, then Trump is winning. If they enforce the law, they're enforcing Trump's law. So therefore, they're going to just let them do whatever they want to do. And I saw a woman, we played it a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. She's in her car and they surround her car and she goes, I'm just trying to get home.
Exact same intersection.
Was it the same intersection?
Yep.
Yeah. And things are not calming down over there.
Well, and somebody could be having a medical emergency or any other number of things that.
Remember the guy, the Texas guy, saying you're on the roadway, you're gonna run over. The guy, you're gonna be graveyard dead.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right? Somebody that decides I don't want to stand here and watch these people marching around. I'm going to just drive my car forward. But
it's happened.
Yeah, it does happen.
Happened in Charlottesville.
There you go. But don't forget, you could get arrested, but we're just not going to arrest you. It's your First Amendment. I don't know about that one. I'm not a lawyer, although I could play one on television.
Oh, my.
Thank you, Joe. All right, let's check with Nate in traffic. Nathan.
All right, this report brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. North 405, we're really struggling between Kirkland and Totem Lake. You'll thin out through Bothell. Bellevue to Linwood is a 55-minute drive. If you're continuing into Everett, add another 15 minutes to this. Seattle to Everett, we're down to 45 minutes, 35 to Linwood. You're backed up from Lake City Way through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You've got a 2-mile, pretty thick backup through Linwood to get through, and then you're packed again from Ravenna Boulevard to I-90. North 5, thick from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton's a half-hour drive. You're jam-packed from 520 down through Factoria. In Auburn, northbound 167, just past State Route 18, a collision blocks your toll lane. Just a minor backup at the scene. Going the other way, Renton to Puyallup on southbound 167, now a 40-minute trip. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. Get the latest news and updates from your favorite KIRO News Radio shows straight to your inbox. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. I know what it is like when you watch the hair begin to thin, the crown disappears, and then that hair loss just robs you of your identity. That's how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair, because you start to think, really, am I turning into the bald guy? You see, Advanced Hair fixes that. They've got a simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. So as you do look in the mirror and you realize your hair's going away, you have a choice. Here's your choice. Be bald or get your hair back. I'm going to guess you want your hair back. It's your hair. Get it back. You set up a free consultation, $250 off. 250 free hair graft. Just give them a call, 425-449-8185. You don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. So you call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. And you visit them online at advancedhair.com.
A KIRO News Radio exclusive.
This is Charlie Harder. I've spent the past 6 weeks investigating a story involving a youth pastor, child abuse, a mayor, and a name change, all while civic leaders appear to look the other way.
I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening.
There's some level of calculation there.
You have to make it right.
Join Seattle's Morning News tomorrow morning at 6:15 and 8:15. Watch the full story at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio YouTube page.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granello. Big traffic trouble near Cle Elum, where an overheight truck hit an overpass this morning. It shut down a stretch of I-90 westbound. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports.
State Trooper Jeremy Weber tells me there's no sign of impairment, but no answers to why the driver with an oversized load didn't go around the I-90 Bullfrog overpass.
They drive for a living much like I do, and we have to be at the top of our game.
The impact sent concrete flying and left dozens of pieces of rebar dangling over the interstate. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Governor Ferguson says we should learn no later than Monday when that stretch of freeway will reopen. Well, debate continues in Everett over the city's no sit, no lie ordinance. Members heard testimony today from people for and against it.
I was homeless for over 5 years, and I can tell you from experience that dehumanizing people does not help.
I have had to, until this no set, no lie went in, I had a person on staff that came in at 3 a.m. to wash the steps, so that the employees could come in and not have to step in stuff.
Council members decided today to delay a vote to extend the ordinance. Members say they want more information on the people who've been cited under the law. In Tacoma, the city council voted to update its code on homeless encampments. Camping now prohibited within 2 blocks of parks, playgrounds, and libraries. This builds on a 2022 law that banned camping near shelters and waterways. Well, some 80,000 workers in our states are still being affected by this government shutdown, now in its 4th week. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports some could qualify for unemployment benefits.
If you're a furloughed federal worker, you can apply for jobless benefits through Washington State. But the Employment Security Department's Donna Mack adds,
for the folks that are going to work and working without pay,
they won't be eligible for unemployment insurance because they're working, even though they're not getting paid.
Those include essential workers like air traffic controllers, federal law enforcement, members of the military, and more. Both furloughed and essential workers will likely receive back pay once the government reopens, but any jobless benefits received would need to be paid back.
Takes us to 5:33, and we go now to the real-time traffic desk with Nate Connors.
All right, let's see. You'll want to avoid northbound 405 north of Bellevue if you can. Bellevue to Linwood has taken 1 hour. It is solid between Kirkland and Bothell, and you're at a standstill through a good chunk of Kirkland. Seattle to Linwood is just 40 minutes. You're crowded from Lake City Way through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle down to a half hour. You've got this thick 2-mile backup in Linwood. I'm not seeing any blocking issues here. And then you're packed again from Lake City Way to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, plan on a half hour on both I-90 and 520. North 5 is still thick from the Michigan Curve into downtown. Bellevue to Renton's a half-hour drive. It is bumper to bumper from 520 all the way to Cold Creek Parkway, and then you'll start to thin out. Renton to Puyallup on southbound 167, a 40-minute trip. The Emerald Queen Casino brings you this traffic report. They're the entertainment capital of the Northwest, the best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Drier tonight and also for most of tomorrow. Heavier rain near the coast tomorrow night into Friday. We'll see heavy rain on Friday with some urban flooding possible, and then rainy and breezy into the weekend. Right now, 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
There we go. Back at it. Thank you, Aaron. Spin the wheel, please, Teeny, if you wouldn't mind. Teeny spins the giant wheel, the Wilcox Farm Express vehicle. The names of all the players are there. The colors are lighting up. It is a kaleidoscope of colors, red, green, yellow, blue, green, yellow. And it lands on Andrew. Andrew, I'm sorry, it landed on you.
Oh, boy. I don't know if I have one today. Let me think.
Oh, honey. You okay? What's the matter?
Come on, you're in a good mood.
I'll take the egg.
You can pass. You can pass the...
I can't pass.
Okay,
I'll take the egg. I smash it on top of my head.
There we go.
And that's it.
There we go. That's going to be in the back of the book as an addendum. That's one of the recipes that will be available for you, the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe. You know, smash it on your head and let it just drip down there and eat it. Okay, there we go.
Yum! Call that egg on face.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron.
Wow.
You got it.
Open face egg there. Nicely done.
Very good.
Okay, well played. Okay, the heist that took how many? 7 minutes altogether. The thieves went in to the Louvre and to get priceless jewels right there in broad daylight. The director of the Louvre, who's had the job since 2021, she's got some splaining to do. She has to testify before the Senate, and they're going to find out how did this happen, and why did you let this happen? And they were posing as workers. That should have been the first tip. Anybody in France posing as a worker. You're like, who is this guy with a ladder doing work? They went in there and they snuck in through the window, and they really get quite the haul. What, about $100 million worth?
102.
Ooh.
Thieves burst into the Louvre in Paris, stealing crown jewels and prompting the world's most visited museum to be evacuated. The robbery took place in the Galerie d'Apollon. At around 9:30 in the morning, 4 individuals drove motorcycles and a truck with a portable furniture elevator to the museum. They used the elevator to get up onto a balcony. They then cut through a window using what appeared to be angle grinders. Once inside the gallery, the thieves used the grinders to...
Oh, that wouldn't make too much noise. Angle grinders. Somebody's doing work here, I don't believe it.
Threaten guards and to cut into display cases containing Napoleonic and royal jewelry.
Ooh.
The thieves tried but failed to set their truck on fire before fleeing on the motorcycles. They were in and out of the gallery in less than 7 minutes. The stolen jewels once belonged to French royalty or imperial rulers and include diadems, necklaces, earrings and brooches. French authorities described the items as priceless. The thieves dropped a crown belonging to Empress.
Was that me? Sorry about that. Scare the hell out of me.
It was later tried but failed. Stolen jewels once belonged to French royalty or imperial rulers and include diadems.
I thought it was the sound of them breaking in.
I thought it was a gunshot.
I don't know what was going on.
Necklaces, earrings, and brooches. French authorities described the items as priceless. The thieves dropped a crown belonging to Empress Eugenie with nearly 1,400 diamonds before speeding away. It was later found damaged. The heist comes as museum officials have raised alarms about the building's weak security. With investigators racing to find the stolen jewels, experts warn that as the items are so famous, they cannot be sold on, adding that the pieces instead could be dismantled.
Yeah, take them apart and then sell them as individual pieces. A lot of I was looking at the history of jewel thieves. Most of them get caught. The two that I saw in 2009, these two guys spent 4 hours having makeup put on. And when the makeup artist was like, what's with all the prosthetics and and the skin tones? And we're shooting a music video. They're like, okay, whatever. Two guys walked in there and they were able to rob the place. But then eventually they did catch them because one of them left a glove. No, they left a burner phone behind, and then they were able to track it down that way. Most of the people get caught that do this sort of thing because it's very hard to, again, fence the stuff, or you do leave clues behind. The ones that went in the heist of the Louvre, I think they left a glove behind. They did. Also, they believe they're going to pick up some fingerprints from the van, and they've got the ladder, all of that sort of stuff. There's a famous jewel thief who's robbed, he says, 1,000 or more jewelry stores. He goes to they talks to him in the New York Post. He's like, these guys are freaking amateurs. I never got caught. They don't know what they're doing. Right? They're competing, criticizing one jewel thief to another one.
The Mona Lisa was stolen at one point, right?
Yeah, they take that one off the wall.
They did, and I think even to this day there is. Some people are skeptical whether
it's the real one.
Yeah.
I looked up to see, there are some museums, they don't like to do it, but they will put some fake stuff in there if they feel the security is not high enough or the insurance is concerned with it. Yeah, have you been to the Louvre? Have you seen?
I've been to the outside. I haven't been in.
Yeah, and then the Mona Lisa's got the big plastic thing in front of it because too many people are like, breathing on it. It was having an effect upon it.
Yeah.
You also have a condition, I think it's called museum headache, where there's so much stimuli and you're in there and, you all you have is a croissant for breakfast and you're walking around. And after about 2 hours, you're like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yes.
It's got that, just after a while, you're just like, okay, I've seen enough.
And usually if you're going to one museum, you're probably on vacation somewhere with about 100 of them. So you feel
going through the crowd with everybody. Just give me to the gift shop where I can overpay for a mug. That's what I say when I'm in there. All right, so they believe they will catch these guys, and they will have to do everything they possibly can in order to be able to get the Louvre's security back up in place. A friend of mine, his daughter works for the Royal Palace in London, and she is part of the curating team, which is pretty amazing that they hired her. She's an American, but she's in charge of the royal art, and she curates and goes down into the basement where all the different art is, and they move the different pieces around the various palaces and different spots where the dukes and the princesses are, and she's in charge of cataloging all of it.
Wow.
I said, what is cataloging it? She's like, they have so much art.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, and that's her job. And what is it like being there in the palace? Well, there's 7 or 8 pages and she had to sign and initial each one about if you see the queen, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. No, the queen's dead. If you see the king and if he's still wandering around, anybody that's a royal family, you're not allowed to look at him, you're not allowed to talk to him, you can't go into this entire area over here, and then also what she's supposed to wear every single day. But she's there at the palace and then down in the basement going through all of the art. It'd be a crazy job.
Yes,
they pay her $35,000 a year.
$35,000.
It cost her, I think, I forget the amount of money she has to spend every day to get on that train to take the thing in there. It's ridiculously expensive.
You know how you can make up for lost wages? Steal some
a little something.
Yeah,
yeah. The little ones, they're not going to miss that, right? Where they get the Sears photo. You're all together with a dog. They'll never miss that one.
Nate, if they were going to knock down the east wing of Buckingham
Don't
Palace...
even get me started! Joe, you got him. You got him again. You got him. All right, let's check with the Nate checking traffic. By the way, when are they going to open I-90?
Well, we'll know, but no later than Monday. what the plan is.
Wait a minute.
You got it.
I-90 will be closed?
Well, westbound at Bullfrog, yeah, in Cle Elum.
Oh.
Yeah, and obviously you can use that exit to still get around the closure.
Well, I tried to do that this morning, and they wouldn't let you in there. But they've opened it up now for Bullfrog.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Okay, well, what do you mean? You're the traffic guy.
Well, I don't.
You're asking me.
Well, unless Sully's out there, I don't know.
Hit it.
Bellevue to Linwood, 1 hour, hefty backup at 5:20 into Bothell. Seattle to Linwood, just 40 minutes. Linwood to Seattle down to a half hour. You still got this 2 mile stubborn backup there in Linwood to get through, and then packed again from Lake City Way to I-90. Southbound 99 is packed from the Zoo to South Lake Union. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, still right around 25-30 minutes on both routes. Bellevue to Renton's a half hour. It is jam-packed still from 5:20 to Cold Creek Parkway. And Tacoma to Olympia looking good. We're down to 35 minutes. The D.R. Horton National Red Tag Sales Event has been extended through the 26th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today or drhorton.com. America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, so now I got my wife going to Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient since 2009, and the work that the doctors do, just remarkable. They're using the latest science, and here's what happens. So 4 times a year, I said to Nick, so it's 4 times a year, you're going to go in for a blood draw, and then 2 weeks later, you're going to be on the phone or in person with the doctor. And they're going to look at all of the indicators that are showing up on this test. There's about 50 different things that they're looking for. And then they're going to sort of move one number up and another number down if you're in the right range, because what they're doing is they're seeing indication of how you are aging, and they're going to try to slow it down or reverse it and just give you a longer life with more energy. Nick's like, okay, I'll do this. I said, why are you doing this? She goes, because I don't want you to outlive me, and then if I die before you, then you're going to try to find a younger, prettier wife. I'm like, oh, what? That convince her, you think? Longevity Medical Clinic. You can take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Wait, what happened to fall? Winter already? Snow expected in the passes this weekend? Is your car ready? Is the state ready to keep the roads open? I'll go over all the things you need to know, like wiper blades, tire pressure, and just how many snowplows the state's ready to roll out. Coming up tomorrow on Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. Now, the full lineup is only at the one place pros rely on. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers, exclusively at the Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Copstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. And let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
The insurance world, it can be confusing, so have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Good. We've got time for the teeny, or Hudson's going to sing us a song. Hudson, there you go, Hudson. Yeah, you can see as you see.
To be missed by me on the mailman. Everything new on the mailman. Bring the mail to you.
Ooh. Oh, you see, because I'm not trying to whip it in there.
Attaboy.
All right, we'll get to the letter today. First, take care of all the rest. Joseph?
Thailand Doug checking in. He says, hi, Joe. Thailand Doug here. About pumpkins, tell John that Illinois grows more than any other state in the U.S.
Thank you, Thailand Doug. Appreciate that. Let's see. John in Renton says, ride jinx the Mariners.
Oh. He said more, but it wasn't air friendly. Clip San Paul said, hey, John, how about championing a state initiative that makes all truck drivers and the companies they work for that have hit our highway bridges be assessed a damage fee based on estimated losses suffered by the public and all other users of affected highways?
Yeah. Okay. A unicycle Mike on this day in 1991. I was born. Also, Lady Bird was Hank Hill's dog's name.
Huh.
Oh, well, look,
how about that?
Thank you for that.
Fun
unicycle
fact.
Mike.
Old Man John says, this is on your story about the most interesting man in the world.
Yes.
He says, you have also lived fully, John. A good life is one full of interesting, meaningful stories. Please continue to share your stories with all of us. May you enjoy many more adventures and share with us even more.
Thank you there, Old Man John. Butt breathing. Doug in Mount Vernon says, inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide and methane.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's true.
206 says, butt breathing. I do exhaling of the butt, however, not inhaling of the butt.
Okay, good to know. 206, we'll put you in the category. 425 says, ironically, fart-lighting friend's name was Andrew. Oh, there you go.
How about that?
Everybody had a friend that did that.
Brian was mine.
But wasn't there the rumor that it went in and blew him up? Like it reversed somehow?
I'm sure. Somebody spread that. I don't think it ever happened.
Okay.
425 said some people put drugs in their butt to get high. I've never done it, but was offered it once.
Okay. When it comes to Jim Walsh, different category. Dennis in Seattle says, hey, Walsh, do you think I should become a sewer commissioner or undersheriff? Well, that's an old... That guy's going back to like 4 weeks ago on that one.
Wow. Skylar in Auburn on the initiative says, it doesn't really matter. Our Washington State Supreme Court will just overturn the initiatives anyway. We've seen this happen enough.
Come on, Skylar, don't give up. 360, I'm a Washington resident who's actually in my truck pulling a U-Haul to move out of the state. I couldn't take the politics and taxes anymore. Oh, no, we lost a listener.
Sorry, 360.
Maybe he'll run into I-90 or the overpass there. Okay.
On the White House ballroom, 360 says the White House has been completely gutted at one time, and the only thing original on it is the exterior, and that's questionable.
206 says this is the first time it's happened without spending our money.
Shane in the 360 says the difference with previous renovations is they all went through a committee. I don't mind a ballroom, but it shouldn't be bigger than the White House and less tacky, please.
Yeah, the tacky part. You ever seen his gold toilets and all those?
Even the Oval Office.
Rob in Gig Harbor says, you're an educated man. You, of all people, should know he needs congressional approval. He's avoiding releasing the Epstein files.
I see the connection.
Approval for what? For the White House?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Not if he isn't spending his own money.
Barbara in the 425 says, why does John think tearing down a part of the White House is amusing? Other changes were authorized. I am upset about this change to a historical building. It may not be important to him, but it is to me.
No, I'm glad it's important to you, Barbara. I'm just saying the amount of people making such a big deal about it. Like, there's so many other things going on, but like, oh, look at that.
That's all she wrote.
Oh.
And now it is time
Please.
for the letter of the day.
All right.
John in Oregon, this is back to the breathing apparatus.
Yes.
He says the movie Abyss was way ahead of its time. The rat breathing underwater scene made me think that we'll be seeing this happen someday. I didn't think it would become butt breathing or that it would take 30 years, but here we are. It's the Star Trek effect. Once an idea gets put out into the world, it's just a matter of time.
Well, that is like the fourth one today.
Wow.
You all right in there?
There's too many farts in here. I'm a bit dizzy.
Okay.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she
Take a deep breath.
Didn't write no more.
All right. Nate's got the latest on I-90 and the rest of the road conditions. Nathan, what do you got?
Yeah, all right. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Let's start with I-90. Westbound 90 is closed in all directions on just west of Clay Elm at Bullfrog Road. That's from that earlier collision. And again, as we just discussed moments ago, we probably won't know till Monday what the future plan is. So plan on this being closed for at least the next few days. You can still access by using the on and off ramps there. Let's see. Closer to home, Mill Creek, we've got a collision blocking all lanes of 128th Street at 3rd Avenue. This is just before you reach I-5. Bellevue to Linwood, still at 1 hour. You got a hefty backup from 520 into Bothell. Seattle to Linwood, 45 minutes. You're heavy from Northgate now through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, a half hour. Still got a couple miles back up in Linwood, and then it's thick again from Lake City Way in the downtown. And North 5, you're heavy from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. The Emerald Queen Casino is the entertainment capital of the Northwest, the best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I got to tell you something. I met Dr. Mark Wagner about 2 weeks ago. This guy is the best. I went in there because I got a bad hip. I mean, a really bad hip. So bad, they said you had to replace your hip. And I thought, okay, I want to go see Dr. Mark Wagner, and I want to talk about a stem cell procedure because this is going to be my last chance before I'm going under the knife. And Dr. Wagner explained how many procedures he's done, the chances of it working for me. He took a look at the x-rays, and I said, let's do this. So it's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. This is really remarkable. This is modern science, using my own stem cells to regrow the damage that's in my hip. This works. So if you've got a bad shoulder, elbow, a wrist, a knee, whatever it is, before you decide, I'm going to go the surgery route, go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, right there at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. The best procedure when it's your own stem cells. You can trust this man, and you know you're going to be able to not have to do the surgery, and you solve the problem. What a smart move. Thank you, Dr. Mark Wagner. I so much appreciate your expertise. drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees and transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, They're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news.
A minimum wage increase proposal is moving forward in unincorporated King County.
KIRO News Radio.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. There's a new baby in the T46B1 Biggs orca family, according to naturalists from Puget Sound Express. This youngster is the third living calf of the T46B1 matriarch, known as Tread. While humans have a 9-month gestation period, orca pregnancies last 15 to 18 months. Researchers believe this is due to the complex development and high level of parental care required for their calves. In addition to Biggs orcas, the whale watchers are seeing loads of humpbacks and minke whales in the Salish Sea right now. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck's about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he sells it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD.